Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course you do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone, but do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are back with another great episode. Today we will be looking at who should sponsor women's safety. Yes, y'all. Yes, it's really a title for you to really think about. Who should sponsor women safety? Now, before we go deep diving into this particular subject, first of all, I want to say shout out to all the people who give me views on a regular basis, because you all do create the fam. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream, because y'all are helping with the algorithm. Shout out to all the people who hype me up on a regular basis. Keep it going. Keep it going. Do it every chance you get. And shout out to all the people who hit that like button. Y'all are making it happen around here. You know, the more we spread, the better the world is going to be. And shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty by becoming a contributor over at the Roger Report Live. And remember, y'all, all money on the wood is good over here at the Roger Report Live. All money on the wood is good at the Roger Report Live. And we got to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's stream, John the Baptist, y'all. John the Baptist, he is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. And let's give a couple shout outs to some of the first people to check in this morning, because when you start a show, it's always great to see that you got a few people checking in. But y'all know how we do it over here at the Roger Report Live. There can only be one. So shout out to the Highlander of today's stream, my main man, Trail Bentley himself, the tax man in the building, representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's baby. And my personal favorite, hashtag Hey Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you here. We also got the pit master himself coming right behind. My main man, Chef Mike's round table is in the building. Great to see you. Great to see you. We got Floyd Thompson in the house. What's going on? Yay, yay. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tunnel Runner is in the building. Shout out to you, my brother. Inspired Truth Broadcast is here. Great to see you. Boot Camp just pulled up a seat at the cool table. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? Computer Geek is in the building. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. The Great Black Reset is here. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And shout out to Bucket is in the house. What's happening, my brother? What's happening, my brother, y'all? And I want to do a real conversation, y'all. Okay? And I do also. And shout out to We Ain't Silence. Y'all know what? In the building. Glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. Okay. I'm listening. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? I want to do a conversation about this because I really want men to be armed with the right things to say and the right information when the right questions come up. Okay, because we are going to be doing an ongoing battle about women and safety. And when you're a black woman, they act like they are the least safe people. And you know what? They actually got a few things that they can pull out their pocket to say, hey, yeah, we the least safe people in this country. They can create a narrative, and they even got some stats to go along with their narrative, that black women are not, quote unquote, safe. But see, the thing that we don't really deal with is who's supposed to sponsor their safety. And we got to ask ourselves a question, y'all. Now, if you live in America and you understand the Constitution being the supreme law of the land, and if you understand that you have rights that were not given to you by the Constitution just simply acknowledges certain rights that you have. But your rights were given to you by your creator, according to the Constitution. Okay? They were given to you by your creator. So now you got to ask yourself a question. Do you have a right to be safe? All right? Do you have a right to be safe? Now, being realistic, in America, okay, and I know it's different around the world, but in America, and even here, people get it confused on what they actually have a right to do. You have a right to pursue life, liberty, and property. Now, I understand people have been caught up in people saying the pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness, you technically have a right to do, but it's an abstract thing that you can't really put your finger on. And without knowing what you're supposed to put your finger on, you may not even try to put your finger on it. But you have a right to life, liberty, and property. Now, everyone technically has a right to be safe. But rights also come with responsibilities. All right? Rights do come with responsibility. Now, no one else has a right to put you in an unsafe position without your permission. I'm not going to act like that's the truth. We're not going to do that. No one has the right to put you in an unsafe position without your permission. But the truth is, rights are something that you have to fight to maintain. Now, that's just what it is. You know, that may not be the way we want it to be, but that's just what it is. To have freedom of speech, you got to fight for your right to speak. That's just the way it is. Heck, even your gun laws. You know, if you want freedom to bear arms, you got to fight for those rights. Every right that a human has is going to be challenged in America. If it's not already been challenged. But I think most things have already been challenged, whether we realize them or not. You don't get nothing for free. That's just the way it goes. You get nothing for free. So women do have an issue about safety. It's a concern for them. Now we got to ask ourselves, who's supposed to sponsor this? Because stuff don't come free. Now, I'm not saying women shouldn't be safe, but women do have their own responsibility to keep themselves safe. Just like a man has his own responsibility to keep himself safe. Whose job is it? All right. Now, I think this is something that people really need to put some thought into. Because I've heard people say that Black women are the most disrespected women in the country. And they try to use the Malcolm X quote as if they're talking about the same type of women Malcolm X was talking about. Because Malcolm X was talking about some very respectable women of that time. He was saying things, he was saying something about Black women in the 60s who, you know, have far more respect for themselves than they do right now. Because this is 2026. He was saying that in the 1960s. I don't remember exactly which year he said it in, but it was in the 1960s. So he definitely wasn't talking about the women that we have today. Okay, when he was talking about that particular thing. Now, the women today, the question is, do they have a right to be safe? Technically, they do, because you have a right to your life, liberty, and your property. But who's supposed to sponsor your safety? Because safety costs. Okay. Now, are there some ways to be safe for free? Sure. But there's other ways that it costs money. And I think this is something that Black men really need to learn how to deal with and really need to learn how to even talk about, so we can get a lot of nonsense back in the proper order that it needs to be in, because stuff is out of order. It's in a nonsensical order. We need to make some sense out of it. A woman says to me, as a Black woman, you know, she feels unsafe. My answer is more toward the lines of, so what? As a Black man, I'm more unsafe than you. A Black woman would say to me, well, see, y'all can go out at 2, 3 in the morning, do what y'all want to do, and ain't got to worry about something happening to you. And I would say, now, based on statistics, if something were to happen to either one of us at 2, 3 in the morning, it's probably going to happen to me before it happens to you. Now, that's what the statistics say. Now, she don't feel that way. I totally get that. She don't feel like that's the truth, and I totally understand that. But what your feelings got to do with the fact? Nothing. You can feel any way you want to feel. All right? That's why people need to learn how to use feelings properly. I'm not saying you shouldn't have feelings, but you got to learn where they're properly supposed to be applied. When it comes down to it, your feelings don't change my circumstances. Simple as that. Your feelings won't even change your own circumstances. If you too lazy to get up and do something about it, your circumstances ain't gonna change. So when a woman says that she feels unsafe, my response is like, that's your husband's problem to solve. You know, how come your husband allows you to be in a position where you feel unsafe? Now, y'all think about this. Now, what type of thing y'all think is coming when you ask a woman, why does her husband allow her to feel unsafe? Okay. You're going to get smart looks. You're going to get some negative responses. Somebody might even call you a misogynist. They might even do that. They may call you a jerk of some kind. You know, it probably won't be a nice response, okay? Probably not going to be a nice response. But I don't say a response like that just to tick women off. No, I say it because it's a very real thing. Because for me, I have an understanding and I have to deal in the real world. If a woman doesn't feel safe, I do ask, why would her husband allow her to feel unsafe? Because men do a lot of stuff to make sure their wives feel protected. Okay? They do a lot of stuff. Sometimes we buy guns. Sometimes we buy home security systems. Sometimes we buy guns and a home security system. Sometimes we get dogs. Okay? Sometimes we start neighborhood watches. It's all type of stuff that men do just to make sure his wife feels safe. But when it comes down to it, money's attached to some of the stuff. Now, there is a police force, and I know people say, well, the police should keep you safe. Now there's controversy when it comes to the police force because they started as slave patrols. So who are they really trying to keep safe at that particular point? Nobody. But we've had police forces that have been started since that time. And supposedly, when people think about police, they think protect and serve. Now, I'm not saying as a woman, you can't depend on the police to protect and serve. What I am going to say is, I remember seeing some information about how the average response time of police was 12 minutes. And I'm just going to say, if you in danger, 12 minutes is a long time. That's all I'm saying. And y'all, that was the average. So you got to keep in mind, if the average is 12 minutes, that means somebody out here waiting 19 minutes. Somebody waiting 22 minutes. Somebody out here waiting 34 minutes. While somebody else, the police will be there in 2 minutes. Police will be there in 5. They right around the corner just about. Now, as a black man, something I learned growing up, if you want the police to solve a problem because you in danger, you burn up. It's that simple at the end of the day. Okay? I've never bought into you can call the police and they're going to actually stop you from being in danger. But if you're in danger, you will be beat up, you will be robbed, or you will be killed before the police come. Okay? To me, that is a reasonable expectation of the police force. Okay? That's a reasonable expectation of the police force. Now, if I'm saying that's a reasonable expectation of the police force, that if you actually are in danger, see, I'm a man. I'm going to see things a little bit different than a woman going to see it. Now, I understand if somebody's trying to get me and I need the police to save me, they're going to get me. Okay? If I need the police to save me, I am going to be got. It's that simple at the end of the day. I accept that as a man. That is my reality. If I need the police to save me, I'm going to be got. I have to save myself. I understand that. Now, keep in mind, y'all, I do get life, liberty, and property is a thing for all of us. Okay? So, that being the case, I got to take it a different way than some other folks, y'all. Now, you know what? I got a guest backstage, but he's an Ivy Leaguer. He wants to come up a little early. He got it like that. Don't the rest of y'all think y'all do. He got it like that. So I'm putting him in early today. So, boom. I'm going to go ahead and let him get the mic. But I'm going to definitely get back to some of the things I say. But keep in mind, y'all, I understand even as a man, my right to life, liberty, and property will have to be protected by me on most occasions. So if I'm a woman and I got to wait 12 minutes for a rescue, that's going to be quite the situation. And shout out real quick to Bucky. Thank you very much, my brother. Appreciate you. He says, appreciate the message, Roger. Keep up the great work. Salute. Well, thank you very much. I'm definitely going to do the best I can to keep it up. So as long as God let me draw breath, I'm going to be here, y'all. I'm going to be here. But let me turn it over to my main man, R. Kelly. Yeah, that's who we got today, y'all. R. Kelly. You got the mic, my brother.
Thank you, Roger. And the reason why I have R. Kelly here is to show you how much black women are protected. Black women are probably, if not the most protected, the second most protected class in America today. For black men, the average response time is 12 minutes. But when that black woman called Johnny Law on that black man, those white boys be whipping around the corner so fast their dick is hard. So when Malcolm X was talking, and Malcolm X didn't even use the word not protected, he said disrespected. Because when we look at black women, they're protected in every facet of life. Because believe it or not, black men still protect black women. Right? Like the Umar groups, the pro-black groups, all of that. Then you got the police. When black women are saying they don't feel protected, they're telling you they don't feel entertained, right? They want to see you lose your life over them for their entertainment. And if you're not willing to lose your life over entertainment, now she feels unprotected. Because at the end of the day, you got laws to protect her from her job. You got laws to protect her when it comes to reproductive rights. You got the police that, I mean, I've seen videos where whether she called the police on a man, she's not even on the D, and the police kick the nigga out and say, you got to wait outside your own house until she's finished. I've seen black men with their hands up laying on the curb while she's in there, and they still get shot. So I don't know what she's talking about, but again, this is all propaganda. These are the lies she learned from Zaddy, because at the end of the day, I don't know a woman more protected than she is, because a white woman call cops on her man, that white man ain't getting shot. You as a nigga can be laying on the floor getting shot. And then on top of that, matter of fact, Mike Tyson, heavyweight champion of the world, no one could beat him. Guess what? Desiree, Black Miss America, took his ass down with 2 sentences. No, 1 sentence. Then, what was that hoe's name? Got on with Barbara Walters and told the world that he's abusive and he hit her. Gentlemen.
You talking about Robin Givens? Was that Robin Givens?
Robin Givens. These women are so protected that they can lie to the public in his face, and there's gonna still be repercussions. You gonna tell me Mike Tyson? You gonna tell me Mike Tyson hit you and you ain't got a scratch on you? I'll pass the mic on that.
Well, I'm gonna say a very interesting opening statement. And y'all, I'm gonna say yes. When you listen to some things, you do have to suspend reality momentarily. It's like going to the movies. You know, I go to the movies, right? I understand there's certain parts of reality I must suspend so I can enjoy the movie. You know, I watch a movie like Man of Steel, right? Movie about Superman. Now I know men can't fly, but if I'm enjoying the movie, I gotta buy into it for this moment of time. I gotta buy into it. So now you do make an interesting statement about the fact that Robin Givens would say that a person like Mike Tyson would physically abuse her. Because I remember that. Now forgive me if I'm misremembering, but I do remember something about Robin Givens saying she did get abused by Mike Tyson, and
he told that whole Barbara Walters that Mike was hitting her.
Now Mike Tyson was the heavyweight champion of the world.
Undisputed. And you know what Barbara Walters said? Oh my God, that monster.
Now, Mike was a big guy, y'all. I told y'all, when I grew up, it was 2 men that I was afraid of. It was my father and Mike Tyson. I just used to hear about the whoopings Mike Tyson was giving folks, and I developed some kind of fear of Mike Tyson when I was a child. Okay, real talk. So to think that Mike Tyson would physically abuse Robin Givens, I think I have to suspend reality just like I do to watch a Superman movie. Because I know men can't fly. I know that. I know aliens ain't just out here on the planet doing whatever. I suspend that reality to enjoy the movie. So I have to also suspend the reality of what Mike Tyson abusing Robin Givens would look like for me to accept her story. Now, I'm not saying Robin Givens got to change her story. I'm not saying I was there to witness whatever she claimed happened. All I'm saying is, for me to personally believe that Mike Tyson was physically abusing her and leaving no marks, I have to suspend reality to even accept that.
And I want to leave y'all with these words. Sparkle brought her little niece to R. Kelly. Where is Sparkle and where is R. Kelly right now? One is in prison and the other one is not.
I mean, that's a real thing. At the end of the day, that is a very real thing. Very real. Now, I'm also going to say, y'all, there is a lot of talk of what men need to do to protect women. Now, as a single man, I hear women need to be protected. And I try to figure out, I try to be nice. I try to figure out, how is this my problem? I don't have a wife that needs protection. Okay? The wives I kind of run into seem to be protected. I've never heard of a man who was proud that his wife was unprotected. I've never heard that. I've even heard some men say, well, if somebody touches my wife, we gonna get them. I've heard all kinds of talk like that. So now, my question is, in order for Black women to, quote unquote, feel safe, realistically, who's supposed to handle this? How much is it going to cost for women to feel safe? Because if the police ain't good enough for you, and I understand if you say, well, the police don't come quick enough, but hey, that's the government service we pay for, right? That's what they collect taxes for, right? To pay for the police. If that's not a good enough service for you, why is that not okay? I mean, you may not like that the police is all you really got, but you live in a country where that's all that's really offered. So why can't you just be okay with it?
Because that's the standard of service, right? That's the standard of service for everybody else. Why does it need to be different for you? Right? That's the standard of service for white women. That's the standard of service for everybody. The police.
And y'all, I get it. When you're in trouble, 12 minutes is an awfully long time. But what I'm saying, when I looked it up, that was an average. So that's just an average time. That means everybody is subject to that average. Some of us going to get a little quicker. Some of us going to get a little slower. But if 12 minutes is the average, then why ain't the average good enough?
It is good enough.
Now, I get it. If they coming after me, I better do something. I totally get that. If they coming after a woman, I think she should be able to figure out she better do something. Because when the police get there, you will already be robbed, already be beat up, or already be killed 9 times out of 10. That's just the way to go. I'm not saying it's a nice thing. I don't want something like that to happen to me. I'm just saying this is reality, y'all. Somebody's on the news every night, and they did not wake up that morning planning on being on the news. I know a lot of people say, well, it ain't going to happen to me. Tell that to the people on the news. There's going to be somebody on the news tonight, and they didn't plan on being there tonight. Just is what it is. That's the way the life goes. It's an unfortunate thing. So if women need to be protected in any more of a manner, my question is, and this is a serious thing, y'all, who's supposed to sponsor this protection? Because if the police ain't good enough, and your own body, as far as what you can do, ain't good enough, whose problem should this turn into? Because black women swear this should be black men's problem. But based on the numbers, black men ain't really even married to black women. It's a small minority that's married to them. Only a quarter of black men and black women are in some marriage relationship. So if only 25, well, I'm gonna say around 25%, because it fluctuates a little here and there. But if only around 25% of black women are married, that means the collective of black women are not married. So why should the collective of black women be safe? And I know that's a crazy kind of question to ask, and people may not take it the right way, but I'm saying it as a realistic thing to have a real conversation. Why should women be safe? And if safety is something they need to achieve, why can't they achieve it for themselves based on their own rights? I'm just saying, y'all. Based on their own rights, why can't they achieve their own safety?
Well,
now, I got two more guests in the back, so I'm bringing them up, and I'm gonna let them get the mic, and let's see what they do with it. So, Still Just a Nigga was here first, so you got the mic, my brother, and we'll get Bronchi in right after you.
All right. Happy Thursday to everybody, except you, Roger. No, happy Thursday for you. Because I can't fathom the idea that you are entertaining these delusions from the hoes. Okay? When it comes to these bitches, America is the safest place for them. Okay? They don't need protection from men. Matter of fact, they aren't even afraid of men. They're not afraid of men. I don't see that many of them walking around here with black eyes, even though they deserve it for their big mouth, for their stinky attitude. Yeah, more of them should be walking around here with black eyes, but I don't see that. I see them giving black men the middle finger and talking all kind of crap about black men on a daily basis. They're not afraid for their lives. Protect them from what? From their favorite be nice? Huh? I'm supposed to crash out over you getting your favorite member? So if you like him enough to let him slide up in you, but I'm supposed to protect you from him. Because when I touch my stick, I don't smell her veg juice on my stick. So I'm gonna protect you from what? For what? What am I getting out of it? I don't know you, I don't owe you. That's simple. Me, I'm no snitch. If a woman is getting the business in the middle of the streets, I will not record and I will not call 911. If she's getting the business, that's probably because she deserves it. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna jump in real quick, y'all. Shout out to OG Lee. I don't know what the rest of it was supposed to mean, but OG Lee says, Roger, you from Chicago, where Sonia Massey was killed and murdered in cold blood in Chicago. He said, where are you at, Roger? Was he OG Lee? I remember doing a story about her. I didn't even remember her being in Chicago, but let's just say she was. Okay, I'm sure she was, if that's what you're saying. I'm pretty sure she was. Why are you asking me about some woman I'm not married to? That's exactly my first question. I'm not her husband. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand where you want me to be on the Sonia Massey situation. The lady got killed. She's not my wife. My wife good. Okay? That's all I can tell you, brother. And I don't know if you just playing or not. Maybe you've been here before, maybe not. But you know what I'm saying? Even if you just playing, it's like, that's the whole thing, y'all. Like, are you suggesting that I was supposed to sponsor safety for Sonia Massey? Is that what you're suggesting? I mean, even if you're doing it jokingly, yeah, well, you know, shout out to Trail Bentley. He says it was Illinois, not Chicago specifically. Yeah, I don't quite remember that being in Chicago. You know, because I remember we did do that story about when it happened. But at the end of the day, even if you're joking, why would I be concerned about Sonya Mass's safety? Okay. And shout out to Black Rules Strike. He said Sonya was killed in Springfield, Illinois. It's nearly 200 miles away from Chicago. So now, this is the thing. Now, OG Lee could be joking, but see, this is what I'm saying. Like, why would I be concerned with some woman about 200 miles away from me? You know, you get on the expressway, or some of y'all say highway, you get to driving, Springfield, Illinois, man, that could be 4 hours just getting down there. Especially if you catch a little traffic. Okay, that could be 4 hours away. What am I supposed to do about some unmarried woman who's 4 hours away? I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, I don't get it. Okay, now he did give a quick response. I'm gonna let you other guys get in. So let's see what he say. OG Lee say, I'm just saying, topic is about protecting Black women. The police officer killed her, so all I'm saying, police officers don't protect Black women. Police ain't gonna protect Black women. Oh, that's what you're saying, OG Lee? Oh, well, that sounds problematic for Black women, don't it? Okay. I mean, if your conclusion is Black women won't be protected by police, I'm gonna say that's a problem they got. But if you're an unmarried Black woman, how do you solve that problem? You know, see, and maybe you just saying that to cause a stir or whatever, or maybe you're just trying to put it out as a thought experiment. But I'm gonna just say, man, if the police won't protect Black women, what is that supposed to mean? So who's supposed to care about that? Because it's related to the topic. I grant you that, but who's supposed to care that they won't protect Black women? Who's supposed to care? Because Sonya Massey was an unmarried woman. Who was supposed to be down for her? Okay. Now, Black Rule has come up, so he gets to jump the gun. He has his elder privilege. So, Black Rule, you got the floor. Then I'm going to give it to Bronk, and then I'll give it to Security Service Sims. You have the floor, Black Rule.
I'm just going to drop this in and back out, maybe come back to the broader subject matter later. But, the irony of the Sonya Massey thing is, Sonya was killed by a police officer. That's the irony of mentioning Sonya Massey in this discussion. So, like I said, I'm going to pull back from now. It's been a few brothers waiting in front of me. I'm going to let them get down, and then I'll have more to say.
Okay. Appreciate you, Black Rule. Appreciate you. Well, Bronk, you got it then.
Good morning, good peoples. Hey, just sitting back listening to this. The first thing that came to my mind about this subject is a congresswoman by the name of Cori Bush. All right, she's actually she's actually here in St. Louis, which is where I'm at. But it came out that she had spent over $750,000 of taxpayers' money for her own private security. All right. And then after the fact, that private security ended up becoming her husband. Now, I'll let you make what you make of it, but I'm not gonna hate on the player's game. But that's pretty smooth with Pookie, if you ask me. But I would just encourage women to take a page from her own book. Maybe follow Hurley, and that's what it looks like to really protect yourself as a woman here in the United States. And if she understands that being at her level, then I guess some people just ain't paying attention. So I'm gonna drop that and back up.
Oh my God, Zaddy ain't protecting these hoes no more. We got a problem. Fuck these hoes.
All right. Now, I'm going to say shout out to OG Lee. He says nobody ain't going to protect women, period. And you're right. You better get married and get a covering of husbands / fathers, providers, and protectors of women and children. That's scripture, Roger. Okay, so OG Lee was trying to make a point. I see your point, brother. I see your point because I didn't know what you wanted me to do about Sonya Massey. I ain't know what you wanted me to do about it, but okay. But now I understand your point. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Security services, Sims, you got the mic, my brother.
Hey, how y'all fellas doing today?
Yeah, doing all right, brother. Doing all right.
Looking at the topic and listening to the commentary earlier, I would say everybody should have protection. The question for black women is how are they going to be protected? Because if you don't need them, if we already know the cops ain't coming for you, and we already and y'all talking about y'all don't need a man, then I don't know how y'all feel like y'all should have protection or would have protection. You're just out here in the wilderness. You don't want to get underneath anybody's umbrella. This is what will become of you. So I can't say they shouldn't. I'm just saying I just want to ask them how do they think they're going to have protection. And it's gotten to the point in America now where they need protection against themselves. Like if you ask me, I think they're their biggest enemy. You see more women beating each other up than you see domestic violence, etc. And then on the Chicago tip, their second danger is the damn kids they raising, because now the kids is raising up and whipping behinds too. So that's the biggest question for them is who's going to do it? Back to your topic, who should sponsor women's safety? And it's women. They should sponsor their own safety. They should get up underneath somebody's umbrella and play the game like they supposed to. And I'll end it there.
All right. So that means we are back to Black Uru. You have the flow, my brother.
Well, thanks for having me, Roger. I hope you and the gentlemen on the panel, folks in the public chat, are well. I don't know, kind of on Shark Sim point, my understanding is that if an animal's greatest danger is itself, then maybe that animal does not really deserve to live.
Damn, I mean, you ain't have to put my joint like natural, that,
man. I'm just saying from sort of a naturalistic standpoint, in the wild, so to speak. If you have an animal that is so defective that it sort of willfully sort of endangers itself, if like a gazelle like makes a point of frolicking in front of a lion, that gazelle was supposed to get eaten. So I mean, if you're going to position yourself so that your rifle or your most natural protector is disallowed from protecting you, and the society doesn't consider you really worth the trouble, and you're incapable of protecting yourself at least adequately in what's going to become a progressively perilous world. You look at these women all trapped in Dubai, for example, these black women who are trapped in Dubai, God knows what was going on over there. And then, war breaks out and now, save me, America. So those are people with the right to make choices, including even choices that lead to their demise. So, I mean, when I look at what we're presenting here, I just look at people who have positioned themselves to be easily disposed of. So I would say nobody should protect them. They either protect themselves or they perish.
Oh my God. Did he just say they should perish? Oh my God. What is the world coming to? What is the world coming to?
I told you, Elder out here killing hope. He been killing hope.
Well, we're going to get a mic to Thanos, man. Thanos coming in behind that statement. He didn't even say
I think I might have beat Thanos to the punch.
Well, what's happening, fellas? Man, to the chat, I want to say what's happening. Love y'all in the chat. Even the ones that hate, especially the ones that hate on us. Man, everybody on the panel, man, I love being up here with you guys. I come to bring the reality stone to this conversation today. Because these women often use the reality stone. They snap their fingers. They all of a sudden make more money than black men. They should use some of that money for their protection. You need to start paying somebody. You know what I'm saying? You need to start paying. You know what? This is what I say. Black men need to make black women pay them. We need to stop playing these games. These women out here making all these money and starting all these businesses. They can pay us for our protection. They can pay us to babysit their kids. They can pay us to give them protection in the middle of the night. They can afford it. They got it. Because they have used the reality stone to make sure that they got more money than us. So I say take advantage of that. I say that they have used the reality stone to be strong, independent, and they don't need a man. So I think women should call upon other women for protection. Because they say they're stronger than us. They say they're better than us. They say they're smarter than us. They should protect one another. I don't understand why when you in Dubai and you having a good time over there, you and your sister girls, when the war breaks out, that you don't just get all of the sister girls over there together and y'all protect each other. I don't understand what the problem is. Y'all been using the reality stone for 50 years. Why stop now? Fellas, get your popcorn. Sit back. This is Avengers final cut. Sit back and watch these women protect themselves. Make them pay you for your protection because they got the money. They got the reality stone. And we should make them pay. And I land my plane there.
All right, shout out, shout out to you, and shout out to Ryan Disciple, y'all. My best Danny Glover. I ain't, I can't really do Danny Glover, but and I said I ain't cursing on air because I ain't encouraging niggas to curse, okay? Because y'all was doing it up yesterday, but I'm just saying. Ryan Disciple says, man, Uru, he came with a, I'm getting too old for this stuff energy. I think Uru waited till after Black History Month to say that out loud. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna say why he waited so
That's a good
long to
one.
say it. But I am gonna say I do think black men need to really start, taking heed to these conversations and talking with women a different way, especially the people who are doing content creation and all that. Black women want a lot of stuff, but who gonna pay for it though? Cause can we all hit the gym, 2-3 hours a day, and then go stand next to a black woman and kind of shadow her everywhere she goes? Yeah, all of us could do that, but who
No,
gonna
you
pay
could do
for it?
that. I got better things to do, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Who gonna pay for it?
Wait, wait.
They ain't even paying enough. I don't think.
With that who gonna check me boo attitude? You gonna protect them who gonna check me boo?
No,
Them
what I'm
people.
saying is,
Man, even if they were paying me, I'm not doing it.
but this is what I'm saying. If because I'm not saying this as a joke. All of us could work out 3 hours a day just to be in the right shape to protect the woman and shadow her throughout her day. We all could do it, but who's gonna pay for it? That's a real thing. So I think black men need to start really kind of responding to this whole safety issue from a real financial standpoint. Who's going to sponsor the safety? Because a woman has a right to be safe, but she also has a responsibility to protect her own right to be safe. The same way I have a right to be safe, but my right to safety has been challenged throughout my life. So when the challenges come up, who got to do something? I had to do something. It is what it is. Most of the times it went very well. There was one time didn't go so well for me. Okay, I almost died because someone tried to strip me of my right to life, liberty, and property. But I had to handle that myself.
But Roger, if Uru takes that job that you're saying take, and do 38 push-ups a minute so he can protect the black woman because she's gonna pay him, she's gonna sick Uru on you for just criticizing her. So now you want black men to get paid by black women to take other black men out,
But
because they
no,
ain't
I'm
gonna
not.
put you on the white man.
I don't want to say this. That's what I want. What I'm saying is a realistic thing. Realistically, any man a woman would pay could go to a gym. I'm not even saying he got to be in the greatest shape, but if your job is working out and then you go shadow the woman around and she lives her life, whatever it is that she got to do, you go to work and you her bodyguard. You know what I'm saying? She do what she do. I don't care if she's sitting in front of a computer, you know what I'm saying, in the cubicle somewhere. You just go there and make sure she good. We all could do this stuff, but all this stuff would cost time, money, and energy. And at the end of the day, we all got to eat too. We got bills to pay too. We got clothes to buy too. So who's gonna do all this stuff? But so I think a lot of times that when we talk about the safety of women, I'm not just saying us here on this panel today. I'm saying just from a general standpoint as black men, we talk about women's safety, but we never really talk about the cost of women's safety. For them to quote unquote feel protected, like they got a bodyguard 24 hours a day, there's a cost that come with that.
Let me ask you these questions. Why do they think their lives matter so much that they should be protected like that? What are they worth? What's the worth of their lives like that? Them hoes, they're not reproducing like they used to. They don't cook, they don't clean, they don't want to marry us, they don't want to pleasure us in the bed. So their lives are worthless. So why are we even talking about protecting? Protecting what? For what? They're
Because they got
worthless.
the reality. They got the realities the whole time, bro.
Well, I'm gonna
They've been holding you down. That's what they gonna say.
now
Oh,
I'm gonna say
holding
that
me
they
down.
may be worthless to you. Their worth is basically assigned to how much they make a year and how much money they'll make over a lifetime. That's what a person's actual worth is. Now they may not be worth anything to you, which is totally fine. I'm not saying they should be. But every human has a worth because we do have a financial system. You can actually figure out people's worth. A lot of people don't want to actually think about their worth because it's a very humbling number because everyone believes they're worth anything. That's a reality. Everyone wants to believe they're worth anything, but there is a number attached to you. And if you actually calculated your number, you would be very humbled by how much you're actually worth because it's nowhere near what we all think we worth. Everybody think they worth $1 billion, but if you ain't made $1 billion, you ain't worth $1 billion. Is what it is. So so the thing is, it's not about what we think about what they're worth. I'm saying, as black men, if we have a conversation with this amongst ourselves, or even with women, it needs to be dealt with from a more realistic standpoint. The safety they ask for has to be sponsored by somebody. Because if you want more than what the police will give you asking for somebody to do something, but time is money at the end of the day. If the police ain't enough, I don't know what to tell you. You know, Sonia Massey was brought up by OG Lee in the comments, and his point was that Sonia Massey got killed by the police. I don't know what to say if that's not enough. That's how it came out. What you want me to say? See,
Wait,
if no one
was
agrees the police need to change their behavior, then ain't that enough?
was Sonya Massey the woman that got shot in the kitchen?
Yeah, the one who had that pot, you know.
Oh, she didn't pay the toll of safety. See, if she was married and her husband was talking to the police, that wouldn't happen.
I mean, honestly, that's the way I saw it too. The biggest problem Sonia Massey had was that her husband didn't answer the door.
Now, see, now I could agree with you guys to a certain extent. Black women, they don't listen to black men. So even if she had a husband and he said, chill out, she not gonna listen to him. She gonna hit him with the you know how when they playing football and they get over the center to get to the quarterback, that's what she gonna hit him with, the shoulder roll,
I I
and it's
I
over.
agree with you.
No, but
I agree with you, Sims.
So
let's
how they
talk
can
about
But I
protect
let's talk
themselves is
about
by
what
listening
happened.
to black men.
Let's
well,
actually, if you're gonna mention it, let's talk about what actually happened there. What happened there was she thought she saw someone trying to break into her house or apartment or whatever,
correct.
and she called the police. Now, has she had a husband? I've often been in this role myself, where my wife thinks she hears something outside, or she thinks she hears something inside. I think I heard something in the basement. Whatever kind of shit. Usually, the man goes checks it out. It's nothing. Maybe a raccoon was running by, or whatever the hell, fox or some shit. Uh, and he tells her it's okay. It's not a problem. She says it's okay, and she goes back to sleep.
That's right.
So, yeah, if a man is there, we don't know who Sandra Massey is. None of
Even
us
if
even know who she
even,
is. Like,
even if the man
yeah.
decided to call the police, even if she is a unruly woman, the man will tell the police, "Listen, man, she don't listen to nobody." The police steps off to the side with the guy, has a conversation with him. It's over.
Yeah, yeah. To me, it's just hard to believe that if she has a husband, we ever get to the point where the officer shoots her. That's hard for me to believe because just like black people describe, most black women, just like other women, if there's a problem, they're not gonna handle that problem. They're just gonna they're gonna ask their husband to handle the problem, even if they gotta wake them up. Baby, I heard something downstairs.
But
Now
but but
it's your wife.
let me say this. Let me say this. This the way she was murdered. I mean, that particular guy, that particular officer who killed her.
Yeah, he
No,
was dead wrong.
that guy either has killed some people before or was going to kill some people. That guy was going to kill some people if he hadn't already. I mean, if you look at what happened there, because that was completely unwarranted what he did to her. So I don't think we should understate what happened there. That was a particularly evil act that occurred there, and we shouldn't play that down. But I'm just saying, if she had a man with her, she wouldn't have even had to handle whether or not there was a fox outside or whatever the hell she thought she saw outside. Man would have handled that.
All
Correct.
right.
I'm
Now
independent. I don't need no man.
hold on, y'all. We got another guest though. We got another guest. We're gonna give it over to Delusional Stone Protector. Yes, y'all, that's the name. Delusional Stone Protector. Go ahead, my brother.
Oh, my bad, Roger. Thanks for having me up. I got caught up
Yeah, it is.
watching one of these women in the park to have a BBL removed. Um, Thanks for having me up. Long live the visual steppers. Yay. Uh, yeah, that's she made me come up with this name because she was definitely delusional in our conversation. and because I asked her, like, do you think black women need to be protected? And she's like, we got guns. Some women have gun licenses. I said, no, protected, not protected from by black men or the black community. And do you subscribe to the black community? You say, I got a Hispanic husband. Also, so you're part of the Hispanic community. So you should be protected, right? So he has friends, he has relatives, he has, family that kind of looks after me. They come to call and check on me, make sure everything's okay. And so I do feel protected. I said, okay, well, I'll say thanks for your time. And that's when I decided to come on. I said, but she said some other stuff. I don't want to stay on air because it's kind of explicit, because she was talking about some of the stuff she was talking about in terms of situations where women put themselves in situations to be SAE or GB. So she said she got to an age though. The point of that was she said she got to a point where she knows a lot of us in the black community get locked up. We think guys come out all buff and swole, but they've been somebody's girlfriend inside. The look can be deceiving. So you think this man can bench 350 is going to defend you, but he ran into the car before you do to get up out of there. Or hear a gunshot, and he done hit the floor. He didn't even say, "Baby, get down," or cover the woman. So she's like, that was really one of the reasons she decided to go to the Hispanic side, because a lot of the men she was dealing with that she thought were her type wasn't fitting the mold. And I said, well, basically they're Pookies, right? She said, I could call them that. Yeah, I didn't think they were. But no, they were what I thought they were. I said, oh, she pulled the Danny Green, and she didn't even know she did it. But I land my plane there, Roger. Thanks for having me, bro.
Okay. Now, I'm going to just throw out there, if a man won't protect the woman, I just accept he don't think she worth it. And that's all it is to me. If gunshots happen, sometimes people jump on kids. Some people drag some woman down, whatever case. Sometimes you let people be because they ain't worth the trouble. I'm just throwing it out there.
But back to the hearing problem. How do you protect somebody who don't listen? So if I tell you to chill out and you don't want to chill out, I'm gonna let homeboy slap you once real quick because I told you to chill out.
You know what? I think that's a very real thing that some people gonna have to deal with, because realistically, no man wants to be in this position. But if I see my woman and she getting a little too flippant with some man, and I come there to tell her to stop, and she does not stop. Now, if that man hits her in front of me, see, now we got a situation. But realistically, why should I go after that man when I told her to stop and she would? Now, some people are like, well, you scared of that man.
You gotta interdict. And this is the fundamental reason why you gotta interdict. You either interdict or you accept that you're going to be divorcing that woman. You gotta interdict. This is your wife. This isn't a woman.
Yeah.
This isn't some chick. This is your wife. This is presumably the mother of your children, somebody you share a home with, an investment portfolio with. You gotta interdict. You cannot let her get struck by. You can't let her get struck by another man. If it's her falling off of a curb somewhere after you told her not to stand there and she falls down or whatever, and whatever, maybe you refuse to pick her back up, some shit like that. But her getting struck by another man and you not doing anything about it, you basically have initiated a divorce.
Yeah, your marriage is over if you allow that to happen.
You know what?
Roger.
I wasn't even.
It got to become a double team then, Roger.
Hold fast. I was not even thinking about it from a married standpoint, but I'll agree to that. But if it's your wife, I'm thinking I can just go grab my wife and move her. I'm not going to even just tell her to stop. I'm going to grab her.
Yeah,
and
no,
move
you
her.
definitely should be able to do that.
Yeah,
you definitely should be. Remember the incident I think it was at a football game or whatever, where the brother knocks out the white dude. Apparently he was being repeatedly harassed and struck by this white woman, and the white guy refused to get control over the woman. And then eventually the brother raises his hand up at the woman. I think he still doesn't hit her, maybe like pushes her off. And then the white guy jumps to him, and then they go back and forth, and eventually he knocks the white guy out.
Yep.
Now, in that case, the white guy was supposed to grab that woman and walk her funky ass up out of there. That's what he was supposed to
do. Yeah. I'm gonna say, if it's your wife, that's on you, man. You supposed to be able to grab up your wife and move her if it's necessary, because that's your wife. Now, if that's your girl, I'm gonna say it's not the
Now, if
wife.
it's just a girlfriend situation and you done told her several times to stop and she kept going, well, okay, let her get her ass knocked out and understand that relationship is over. Just that that
You
Exactly.
relationship is
just
over.
you
Yeah.
abandon her at the scene. Relationship ends right there.
Oh no, I'm petty. I'm gonna talk about her ass. Did I tell you to leave that motherfucking man alone? I told your dumb ass.
Now look at you, Ed. Now look at you.
I
No,
mean,
Don't believe shit stink, huh?
I'm not taking a woman with me. I'm not taking a woman with me after she got knocked out by another dude. I ain't taking her with me.
Oh no,
You
because
know,
I'm still
that's
leaving.
over.
I'm still
I'm gonna
leaving
leave
from her.
that.
But
I'm gonna let that be over. I'm gonna let that be over right there.
I mean, it's over. I'm gonna get my licks in. Yeah, I'll be petty like
Because
that.
look,
But tell me,
look,
stop
because
this shit.
anything that's likely to happen after that can very easily turn into a domestic situation, and you're on the ass end of it, and you don't
Right.
want to do that.
Well, I it has. But I told her I bring that man back over here. We both beat your ass. Go the hell on now.
I'm gonna tell her. Hey, now apologize to that man.
Listen. If a woman is with you, whether it's your wife or your girlfriend, and another man puts his hands on that woman, that's his woman now.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't let I can't throw that in the same category. Your wife, my thing is, you can physically move your wife. You know what I'm
If
saying? You
that's
should be able
your
to put your hands on your wife and move her
if
out the way of the
if
situation.
that's your wife, you're present, and you allow it to get to a point where that man put his hands on your wife, that's his woman. You don't. The divorce is in effect immediately.
But I'm gonna tell her you shouldn't have been over there fucking with them niggas from
So
63rd. I told you they ain't about shit. You over there playing dice, nigga. You want to go get you some weed without
Okay,
me.
okay. First of all, we making fun of 43rd. I am not saying
No,
that you
that's
ain't
where I
gonna run
live
to
at,
the.
man.
No, no. I'm
Leave
gonna say
43rd alone.
I'm not gonna say you ain't gonna run to the same type of niggas on 63rd. I ain't gonna say that. But we've been making fun of 43rd. We gonna leave. We
No,
gonna
we
leave it
make
at 43rd.
79th. Leave 43rd alone. This
It's
is
a
my
lot of
stomping
streets we can
ground.
name. It's a lot of streets we can name. But we just gonna leave it to 43rd. That's all.
Oh, damn.
Now,
I thought you
now
was a boy, man. Damn.
yeah. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. He say, if you don't want restrictions, you don't want protection. Everything costs. Now, I think that's a very legitimate statement. Right? And I do believe that, we as black men need to communicate this to black women from a more reasonable standpoint, something that they can even understand is that, hey man, at the end of the day, now I would say this, y'all. Now, if I see my wife about to get into it with somebody, I'm gonna physically move her. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna let her basically get beat up. You know what I'm saying? So, because that's my wife. So, and Black Room makes a good point. You got kids sometime already with it. You live in the same house, investment portfolios. You got all type of entanglements going on with each other. Now, as a single person, I always tell people, if you're single, don't two single people shouldn't have their name on nothing together. That's the rule I think. Just don't have your name on nothing together. Okay, if
Yep.
she needs something, put it in your name. If you want her to have it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's yours. Or vice versa. If y'all gonna do something like that for each other, but single people don't need to be sharing names about nothing at the end of the day. Now, if she's a girlfriend, she's telling me I can't control her. And yeah, this is not gonna work for me anyway, because now I know I got a woman that I cannot control even when the heat is on. We are in a situation. She yapping off. She getting the man about to tee off on her. Why do I want to keep taking this woman place? I already know what it's gonna lead me. This gonna lead me to fighting a bunch of dudes unnecessarily. So yeah, she may say you a coward. She may talk about you and all that type of stuff. And the question is, do you care? I don't care about some woman calling me a coward because her opinion of me ain't that big a deal. Look at how you act. That's not the kind of woman whose opinion of me is going to even matter. And I think
But
this is where a lot of black men, we let our egos mess us up because we worry about what this kind of woman thinks of us.
but your mama black, Roger.
Yeah, my mama would ask me why I'm with her in the first place. My mama would do that.
Hey, let me ask
And
this:
she'll do it while she black.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen how those situations can easily go south? Like I've actually seen instances caught on camera where a guy tried to be a white knight and got his ass killed.
Well,
Oh, no,
Yeah,
it was
I
one.
have.
It was one situation where yeah. Did y'all see a situation where? Damn, I need to find that tape. Where they look like the brother was working in like some kind of, I don't know, kind of ice cream or some kind of restaurant or little thing. And for some reason, this white woman is fucking with him, right? And they going back and forth. And the white man's with her. He's trying to leave, but the white woman is still confronting the brother, and she eventually hits him. And the brother slaps her. And then the white guy goes to defend her, and he knocks the dude down. And
Yeah, and
as
he
the
tells him,
white guy's trying to
I'm
get up
trying to
at the
help you.
dude's brother, the brother was saying, "I tried to help you." I tried to help you." And
I saw that.
the white guy said, "The white guy said, I love you, man."
Bro,
I saw that video.
he
I saw that one.
he
we
knocked
got
the
we
racism
gotta
out
find
that
we gotta
motherfucker.
find that tape. We gotta find that tape.
He he
We
literally
gotta find.
knocked the racism out of that white guy. I was like, God
And the brother was saying it was kind of sad because the brother was saying, I was trying to help y'all, man, while he was hitting them.
Yeah, he's trying to get you involved. You know, my thing, you gotta respect that. If a man give you a warning before he touch your woman, and you don't heed that warning, I don't know what to tell you at that point. Because my thing is, he told you, he said something. What else you want him to
Right. I
do?
told you.
You know,
he
what
was
else?
he was trying he was trying to tell the white guy that his wife was out of line. And he wouldn't check her. That's why he was telling the white guy, man, I was trying to help you. I was trying to help you.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
giving you a chance to fix this,
yeah,
and you just
yeah.
ignored it.
He
You
was
know,
trying.
Right.
I was trying to let you leave this situation as a man. That's what I was trying to do, but you
Wow.
didn't handle it.
And I should even
it,
talk about him at home. Now I should even talk about his ass forever at home. You let me get jumped over by a black man.
Now he's got a wife who witnessed him tell a black man, that he loved him as that black man beat his ass. How can that marriage possibly survive?
I don't know, man. I bet by this time they are not sleeping in the same bed.
He in the garage.
Now, shout out to OG Lee. He said, "What if you're a single baby mother getting beat up by a dude she is dealing with your child is in that household?" Hey, bro. I mean, that's her man at the end of the day. Look, my
That's illegal.
recommendation 100% of the time is you do not get in between two people that's having sex with each other. That's their
No,
business.
this is what I might do. This is what I might do. And I'm saying might. I'm kind of speculating here because I haven't been in that situation. Praise God. I might step to that brother in a calm moment and say, "Look, all I'm concerned about, brother, is that you don't lay hands on my child. Because if you lay hands on my child, we got a different thing going. If you can keep them hands to her, you'll never have any problem with me." So I
Yeah.
might do that. I might do
Yeah.
that because if he puts his hands on my child, then I gotta respond.
As a matter of fact,
Can I?
I'm gonna get a
I'm
brother
ask.
my number so I can bail him out after he whoop my ass. I probably wanted to do it anyway.
Hey, this is what I might do.
Uh,
I might, as much as
no,
I
if it.
hate dealing with these pigskin people, I might go down to the family courts and say, hey, my children are in an abusive environment when they're with their mother.
Now, I
Good
was
That
point.
actually,
that type of
Good
environment
point.
does not happen over at my house. Ain't nobody beating
Good
on me
point.
in my house.
Now,
So I
now,
would
bro,
like to request full custody of my children because I don't want them traumatized by seeing what's going on in their mother's household. Now I will try to set up some visitation, but my thought process is that he will, if he will put his hands on her, he will also put his hands on my children.
And I'm burning Pookie out. I'm going to court and telling the court, man, this a good dude, and she the one be instigating and everything. I'm petty like that.
I know I had to step to. I know I had to step to a brother my son's mother was dealing with, and later find out he was a major connected cartel member. But I had to speak to him man to man. I didn't give a damn. I said, look here, if my child catches a bullet for the bullshit that you do, it's gonna be me and you, and all of Mexico gonna have to deal with me. So he stopped dealing with us. She got mad because I cut off her money supply. I said, hey, what you tell here? I said, hey, what he needed to hear. That's what I told him.
but
Don't
she
want no
should learn
smoke.
to listen. That's her fault. She
He
should have been
learned.
listening. If she'd have
Hey,
listened to
but
him, they'd have been good. You wouldn't have to step in.
no,
Yeah.
because he was an abusive dude. And then I saw black eyes, and I was going back to what I was saying, man. Like, that spills over to my son. Yo, I'm coming through the door like Rambo.
Look,
There ain't gonna be no questions.
see, this is my thing. If a man is abusive, you probably should listen. Don't give him a reason to abuse. You know what I'm saying? You want to be in a relationship because you're having sex with the man. As a grown man myself, I cannot concern myself with a woman who wants to have sex with a man that's knocking her out. So if you don't like getting beat on, listen. That's what I'm gonna tell you to do. Start listening to him. Now I was thinking kind of like Bron, if I could use that information to get children in my custody, yeah, I'll probably do that because she ain't supposed to have the kids no way. I'm supposed to have custody. That's the way I'm thinking. So, if I could use that information to get the kids, in my custody, that's cool. Now, I like what Great Black Reset said. I'm gonna make sure he got my number so I can come bail him out. I'm not mad at what's going on with her. I'm not mad at all. Now, I might use it to get my kids if that's the situation because I just want my kids. I hate to bury the man so I can get my kids because I don't want him getting all investigated, whatever the case is. But him whooping on her don't bother me at all. She grown. That's what she wants. And to
See,
me, that's foreplay.
I know it's a few folk out there that gonna listen to this and they gonna think, damn, Great Black Reset tripping today. He gonna bail the man out. Listen, y'all got to understand. Never in the history of niggerdom has a man ever put his hands on a woman for being cooperative. Just think about that. You ever ask a man, hey man, why you beat the girl up? And he said she was being too cooperative. That ain't never happened.
Yeah.
I mean, if she want to be with him, I think she need to learn the lesson. It's for her own safety. You know what I'm saying? Because let's keep it real. You can't convince no woman to leave no man and he whooping her. I mean, if he already whooping her, what you gonna say that's gonna make her leave? He already whooping her. So my thing is, you got a pipe dream going on. Think you gonna convince her to leave? You know what I'm saying? Hey, he already did what should have convinced her to leave, and she didn't go anywhere. So relax.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I might ask him, hey, bro, can you wait on my visitation days before you beat her ass? That I might do.
Hey, then check it out. When I do get full custody, I'm putting her on child support too.
Hey.
Bam!
And
I'm bailing them out every time. I want to keep their family together.
and now I want people to understand this too, because if you say things like this around women, they're going to say silly stuff to you like you a coward. And I want y'all to be able to respond. I ain't a coward. Me and dude ain't got no beef. He whooping
Right.
on you. You ain't my woman. I ain't got no beef with him for that. Why do you think I'm supposed to care that he whooping on you? That don't mean nothing to me. And y'all understand, and even if there's a woman listening, which y'all may think this is kind of bad. No, it's not bad. Again, he's already whooped you. What am I gonna say to a woman who's already been whooped? If she didn't leave after she took a whooping, there's nothing I'm gonna say that's gonna move her in any direction. You know, leave before he whoops you with something you tell a woman who's scared of a possibility. She's already been whooped. So if she didn't leave then, what is my words gonna do? Nothing. So I ain't gonna worry about it. And that's real talk. And again, now we're talking about women's safety. I'm saying realistically as men, there's only so much we can do. I gotta protect the women I care about. I ain't got time to be worried about the women I don't really care about no way. And that's just being real. So if a man is in a situation where he has a baby mama that's getting beat on, I do want y'all to understand that is not your actual problem. All right. What Great Black Reset says something that might make things real cool and clear. You bail him out one time, hey, bro, look, long as you keep that whooping to her, just don't hit my kids, we good. If you bail a man out, you probably convince them that you really don't care. Your kids will be safe. Now you may lose a little money on the deal. You may have to come up with $250, $500, or whatever. But that's for the protection of your children. Is it really that big an amount to protect your children?
Consider it a goodwill. Consider it a goodwill gesture.
There you go.
Or
There you go.
reparations. It could be reparations. Get my lick back for me, bro. Get my lick back.
You,
Just don't kill the kid.
I am
You
not
better
going to
not.
say that we got to encourage another man to hit the Rise for Life is not going to endorse that. But I am going to
That's
say,
Floyd and 10 for a Koofy hat. That's only Floyd and 10 for a Koofy hat. Not Roger Report.
If you break up with me and end up with a wife beater, oh, I'm gonna be that nigga best friend. I'm gonna be that nigga best friend. I promise.
Now, Great Black Reset, I do think you've actually tapped into some unused potential that is there that men should actually consider. Because if she is getting whooped on by a man, and you go bail her out, I mean, you go bail him out, and just be like, "Hey, bro, look, I don't really care about what you're doing with the old lady. That's my ex. You with her now. That's y'all. Just keep it away from my kids. Can you do that for me, bro? I look out for you, but keep it away from my kids. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna never speak against you. Just keep it away from my kids." I'm thinking the average guy who's in that situation, he got enough trouble going on that he probably just gonna stay okay to make his own life easy.
Come on, bro.
You know, just being realistically thinking, you know, yeah, I mean, it makes my life easier. Don't worry about it, bro. I ain't got no beef with your kids. I only got a beef for her. That's what he probably gonna say something like that. And now y'all good.
Yeah.
Now, for the women who hear this being said and y'all think something's wrong because y'all over here, quote unquote, making plans with men that hit women. Look, you having sex with the man that hit women. Who worked? Me for saying don't hit my kids, or you for having sex with the guy that beat women? I think the problem is you. That's real talk. Okay. So if women want to be safe in the world, I think people need to remind them that you do have a responsibility that's attached to every right you have. Yeah, technically you got freedom of speech, but if somebody tell you to shut up, what you gonna do? You gonna keep on talking, or you gonna shut up? Because if somebody can punk you into being quiet, then what does your freedom of speech mean? Think about that. Every right that you have, you will have to protect at some particular point. That is just a real world thing. Some versions are going to be worse than other versions. So yeah, somebody might tell you better not say nothing right now, but they ain't gonna really do nothing. Now you can test it and see if they gonna do something, and it might just be you getting whooped on by one particular person. But then in another situation, you may end up getting killed. So it just is what it is. As a woman, if you want protection and you don't have no husband, I don't have a good answer for you. That's my thing. I don't have a good answer. If you call Brunk, you was about to say something, because and after Brunk, I'm gonna let you do business here because I just let him up. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Brunk.
I actually saw a video one time. It was a girl and her guy leaving a club or whatnot. I guess her boyfriend, and he hitting on her and shit. A white guy steps in to try to be a white knight. Dude pulls out a gun, shoots him point blank in the fucking head. Gone. That
Honey,
fast.
say that
Mind
again.
business.
So the guy who tried to step in and
Mind
help
your
Petro, who was getting
business.
beat up by her
Oh, stepped
boyfriend
in.
outside the
Okay,
club,
he stepped in. Okay, so he
yeah,
broke
he
the
stepped
cardinal
in
rule
and got
already.
himself killed.
Oh, and
Like,
you know
and
what?
all this shit was on camera. All this shit happened right on camera. He stepped in and tried to stop the boyfriend from beating her up. He pulled out a gun and shoot him in the fucking head.
Well, I
I need to get
appreciate.
on the jury. Self-defense.
Yeah, I appreciate his goodwill, but I'm gonna say this again and again and again. Black men, stop trying to get in between people having sex with each other. You're not gonna be more powerful than two people who have a sexual relationship. Stop thinking you that dude. You're not. They having sex, man. Ain't nothing you can really do. They down for each other. It's that simple at the end of the day. It ain't my business. I do not try to regulate another man's business.
Right,
Or
I
why
add on to
do
that,
you
man.
want somebody trying to regulate yours?
I make
Go ahead,
another
real
comment
quick.
about that. It's young guys that try to approach you and try to get into people's situations with a group. So, young men, stay away from the gang bang. Don't slow your buddy down and try to interject, because these people carry clips and extras. So keep yourself safe. Stay up out of it.
Hey, good advice. Usual business. You got the flow, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Earlier you had basically called my name. You said 10 for a Kofi band, and I was like, shit. You basically called my name out, so I was like, let me go ahead and pop up on the up panel real quick. Let folks know I'm still alive. But no, this is a situation I think I haven't dealt with personally in my life. I've been the setup guy one time, and I've also been the guy, quote unquote, somebody tried to sick on me also, right? So I've had my experience with this situation, and I'll say in both ends, this is not something you want to be in. I know a girl, the relationship went left. Try to have her brother, quote unquote, fight me. It did not end too well for old bro. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a learning experiences for me, because that's when I started figuring out these chicks really want to set you up. That's when I really figured out black women are really out here designed to really set you up. And that's when I was like, yeah, I think it's time for me to go ahead and start dating other women. But life lesson. We're just gonna leave it at there for the time being. Thank you.
Okay. And shout out to my man FLX. He says, I thought Muhammad nail salon protector was still on duty after getting out of the jail for protecting them black women. Is he retired already? No, I think the last I heard, just because you asked, I think he was running for something. Last I heard. But I did go up to that nail shop, y'all. Yeah, when Tyrone Muhammad was getting the pub for going up there to that nail shop where the people was mistreating the black women, and I went up there to the nail shop, and it was a few people out there protesting and whatnot, and the black women just kept on going into that nail shop. Nobody
Bless his
cared
heart.
that people was protesting, and since I was there, I even did it myself because I wanted to see how this gonna work. And I actually stopped a couple of black women. I said, "Yeah, man, they protesting because such they was mistreating the black women." Blah blah. Listen, I was running the story down about what happened, and you know what the women told me? They literally told me, "Oh well, I mean, that's cool, but I need to get my nails done." Now, and I remember going up to that location, and I pulled up. I pulled up my phone, nail shops near me. It was like 3-4 other places that was like 5 minutes away. And I started telling women it was other places that was 5 minutes away. And they just kept going to that nail shop anyway. So it was like the fact that somebody mistreated a black woman made it where they had to go to that particular nail shop. Now, that was my experience in the situation because I literally went there. I guess telling them somebody did something made it where they just couldn't let that particular nail shop go. Nobody went to another location. Nobody. So, and I was up there like 3-4 hours doing it. But hey, I guess they didn't care.
That's the delusional stone. That's the delusional stone kicking in, Roger. The delusional stone, in effect.
So I think that we as black men got to have some very real conversations with women, and every time they start talking about they need protection and things like that, I think we need to start asking them who's gonna pay for it, because they do understand money. No, they act like they don't, and I'm saying money from a certain perspective because they don't really count. I'm not gonna change my words on that. They really don't count because they're always expecting some man to pay. So confront them with the thing that's gonna matter to them. Well, black women need to be protected. Okay, well, who's gonna pay for it?
Oh, Roger, this is honest. This is actually a very, very good thing. I actually said yesterday. I think I had a conversation with some friends. I said the black woman can't afford a good man. No, literally, she can't afford a good man. Like, how much is a good plumber? Right? That's probably like I don't know how much you would cost to have a 24-hour plumber. She can't afford one. She was looking for let's say a bodyguard, 24-hour bodyguard. I don't know how much you charge, but I know I'm charging at least $100 an hour. So I really don't believe they can afford a good man at all.
Very good
That
point.
changes the
I mean,
conversation. That changes the
What?
conversation. Ain't we valued by how much we can spend?
I
That's a
mean,
small percentage, though, usual business. That's a small
I've been,
percentage. They are called
yeah.
adult entertainers.
No, no,
What,
no. Listen to what I'm saying to you, right? Even the best black woman in America can't afford a good man, right?
Right.
Because if you really want to do a proper, my bad. Outside of the top 1%, those are the only women who can actually afford a good man, and that's the only
what,
women we should be actually out here trying to entertain, guys. We need a top 1% woman because that's the only woman who
Yeah.
can afford us.
Yeah, we need six
what,
figures.
No. We said
what,
top 1%, bro. We said top
what,
1%, but if we gonna be out here doing our jobs, bro, we gotta do it for the correct
Well,
one.
you know
So
the top
we
one
need a
percent
top
would be
one
within that.
percent woman.
well,
They
my
would still
thing
be within
is,
the six-figure range, right?
no, my thing is this: before we get caught up in the money, because people generally can't afford the stuff they ask for anyway. People ask you to move. Can you actually afford a mover? Because if you could, why you even ask me to help you? So that's a real thing. But when it comes down to it, because I mean, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, because I've said that myself, but that would change the context of the conversation. What I am saying is we need to actually deal with the fact that women cannot afford to be protected. Now, I'm not saying y'all use this to try to get a woman to quote unquote bow down. I am not telling you to try to use this information to get a woman to do what you want her to do. Just make her understand what reality is. At the end of the day, if you're gonna have a discussion, and sometimes I'm just talking about your own Facebook. Sometimes people just typing words to each other. Sometimes you may be involved in a show like y'all are right now. Whatever the case is, the issue is for them to be protected. Somebody needs to pay for it. Now, what are they willing to pay? See, that's what they need to deal with. It's never really brought to them. I'm not saying you shouldn't be protected, but who's gonna pay for it? Because I'm not gonna pay for your protection. You're not my daughter. Now, men pretty much will pay for their daughter's protection. That's a general thing among black men. That's why we get the home security systems. Some of us, that's why we buy the guns. That's why we buy the dogs or whatever it is that we using to protect the household. So protecting your daughter is not a big thing. Protecting your wife, not a big thing. But when you start talking about random unmarried women, I think we need to start really putting it out there. Who's gonna pay for it? Because you already got a police force. What the police ain't gonna get there in time. I mean, what you want us to do? Unless we trying to change what the police force really gonna do, what you want me to do? Because I ain't got no personal police force. So I ain't nobody coming. You can't call
Well,
me and I'm finna send somebody, you know. And shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. He says proxy violence to protect black women from boredom equals safety. And you know what? I do think that's a real thing because black women do get bored and they do want other people to live through confusion for their entertainment. I do believe that's a very real thing. They want other people to live through confusion for their entertainment. Well, I ain't gonna do that, and I don't care if that's what you need to feel safe. You just don't need to feel safe as far as I'm concerned. And I think black men should be comfortable with black women feeling unsafe. Is that even a concern that we should ever consider? Who cares if you feel unsafe? So what? You know, because you know there is a group of women who do feel safe. Married women, they seem to I mean, who's ever ran into a married woman that felt unsafe? Has anyone ever ran into a married woman that feels unsafe? For that to happen, you would literally have to be in like a war zone.
That woman in the video with that white man saying he loved that black man, she felt unsafe. I'm pretty sure she did.
Wait a minute, hold on. Say
In that video when that white man told that black man, "I love you, man," I don't think she felt safe at that moment.
no,
I don't think she felt safe.
let's not misconstrue that situation. I think she felt extremely safe. If she didn't feel it safe, why was she talking to that black man that way? Let's think about that. Let's think about that. She felt extremely safe because her husband was there. She felt so safe she was overdoing it. You know,
Oh my goodness!
she felt so safe that she had her husband knocked to the ground over just how safe she felt.
I guess you can count that. He was willing to take the ass whooping she should have got. That'll make me feel safe too.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of women who do feel safe for that exact reason. There's a lot of guys who done took a whooping over a chick. Now, I told y'all a story before about how I almost hit somebody. I ain't even hit him. Dude was all mad and upset, but he had a chick in the car. And I just told him, look, bro, I'm at work. I got a uniform on. There's no possible way this gonna go well for you if you want to get into it with me. I said, you got a chick in the car. If I whoop you in front of her, she my woman now. You know how that's gonna go. If you whoop me, bro, you in the wrong neighborhood for that. I said, the neighborhood you in, bro, I grew up around here. You probably got felonies, bro. If anybody see us and call the police while we out here fighting, this ain't gonna look good for you. I got on a uniform, you don't. You burn up. I'm just keeping it real with you, bro. You burn up. You ain't got no possible way to win this. You know?
What do you say, Roger?
He
What
backed off.
happened?
No, he backed off. He know I wasn't playing. I'm not finna let you whoop me. Now I'm in a uniform, so I can't just whoop you because I got a uniform on. You know what I'm saying? I can't just whoop, but I ain't gonna let you whoop me. And I swear for God, if I whoop you in front of this girl, she mine, bro. It is what it is. So he backed off. You know what I'm saying? See, my thing is I'm always calculating what my actual situation is. You know, because what's the reality is if I start throwing blows, I'm getting fired 9 times out of 10. I don't just want to get fired, at least not at that
I
time.
often wonder.
You know,
I
so I
often
can't
wonder
just
how
whoop him.
people live. I often wonder how people live. You know, almost 35 years of marriage, all kinds of situations, all kinds of places, in and out of the country together. I've never been in a position where there was some guy intruded upon my wife and so now I don't know if it's the way I move or she move. I'm sure it's some combination of the two. You know, I'm not this guy who's necessarily big, bombastic. People say I kind of have a mean look. I've been accused of having that, so perhaps that's a part of it. You know, but it's always interesting to me how there's always this issue of protection that comes up, and I've seldom known other married brothers where that has been a problem. And it just makes me wonder how people are living out there and what kind of environments they're in.
Well, there's an intrinsic value of protection given to a woman when she's married, when she's truly claimed by a man, and a man of upright standing. There is protection in that, in the environment in which you're in, and then the way that you carry yourself. People can see the essence of that. So, and you don't strike me as the type of man that would be with a woman who's loud and boisterous and obnoxious. I'm sure your
No,
wife carries
no.
herself as a lady should. We see
Yeah,
that, and you can
yeah.
recognize that without even having spoken to you. I've seen older couples where I've looked at a man and his wife without speaking to them at all and say, that's a lady. You can see it, you can sense it,
Hmm.
and there's protection
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
that,
that's
there's value in that.
And I think there's a certain respect that men in general have for married men and their wives. You know,
That's right.
back in the day, it was not an uncommon thing that you were about to approach a woman and you literally stopped because you just simply saw the ring. You didn't even say nothing to her. You saw the ring, it was over with. Or you were approached and you see the ring, or she presents the ring, and it's done. Most men respect a man, whether we see that man or not, because he went through the trouble of putting the ring on her finger, and we don't want the smoke. At the end of the day, you can't blame a man for killing you over his wife, and we all intrinsically know that as men. If something go down and that man come kill you about his wife, you understand why he did it. That's just the way it goes. So it's an unwritten rule that you could die for playing with somebody's wife. So we just kind of leave that alone. And I think that's still
yeah,
what most men do.
yeah. And even the most fearsome man, the biggest, strongest, most fearsome man, will fear the retribution of what might otherwise perceived as a smaller, weaker man, because he knows that when he intrudes upon that man's wife, he's made a mortal decision. He's made a mortal decision. He's made a kind of decision where literally there's like no turning back from this. At least the smarter men know that. And so they'll just, oh, that's your wife, man. I didn't even know that was your wife. That kind of thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
I
gained a
think
few friends like that when that's happened. When for the guys who have approached them, I mean, I've been some back and forth, but about the ones we got a squash, one of those situations where we wind up going to have a beer, man. And then now he's on my page, like, now he's protective of my wife because they frequent same locations. So, so he's the protection and the buffer when I'm not there.
now we got looks like Compassionate and Callous is coming up, y'all. Compassion, what's happening, brother?
What's good, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I was about to really go in until you came up. I was
My
about to
bad.
do my
No, no,
thing.
don't let me stop you from
Nah,
cooking down.
I'm messing with you, bro.
No, but no, I love the conversation. Great panel. Yes, our 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 protection costs, obviously, or should. And I'm saying, and I think um the cost of the cost of entry, the cost of a black man's protection is a woman's surrender or submission. Plain and simple. If you haven't surrendered or submitted to a black man or a man in general, you shouldn't expect protection. We need to establish that as a precedent right now across the board as far as black men go. A woman's chivalry is submission. Because essentially protecting women just off GP is chivalry. The contract is in exchange for that, a blanket chivalry, we need blanket submission and surrender. If they not willing to negotiate on them terms, then hey, get a gun, lace your boots up, and suit up and protect yourself, sweetheart. That's as far as it goes for me.
Now, I've said, time and time again, I use the example of just helping a woman change a tire or something. You see a woman pulled over on the road, there's a reason I want to talk to her husband. Because I want to know, number one, who am I talking to? Or is this a bunch of nonsense at the end of the day? I don't want to be in a nonsensical situation. And I don't need to be helping some strange woman where anything could happen to me and nobody cares. If you don't have no husband, men have established you're not worth the trouble.
So let me ask you this, Raj. Should we abolish teaching our sons chivalry?
Yes.
I wouldn't say abolish teaching your son chivalry. I think we need to teach how and who should it apply to.
So blankish. So that's the question.
First of
Blankish.
all, no, I think what we need to do is institute true chivalry, because true chivalry was agreement between how knights were supposed to treat each other, how men of consequence and men who might at some point have to draw swords should treat each other. So what we need to do is institute some form of modern chivalry between men, and then let what happened to the women play out as a consequence of that. And I think Roger has very aptly described ways in which we institute modern chivalry, that being everything that you do for a woman that goes through a man. That is modern chivalry. That is legitimate chivalry.
Yeah. And it saves us a lot of trouble because women like confusion. Let's keep that real now. And your death is entertainment. You know, is I don't know how men take something like that, but you do got to remember that's a real thing for women. You dying is entertaining.
No, but pause on that, Raj. I think it's key because we all read or understand or heard of the art of war. If you're at a disadvantage, confusion is an advantage for you. So
Exactly.
we gotta accept that women are objectively in a disadvantage when it comes to men. So we gotta accept that all the manipulation and the bullshit they run, we should expect it. We shouldn't even hold it against them. They're in a disadvantage. Like you just said, confusion is better when I'm facing a superior opponent.
I
And
keep saying it, but
the game is to sustain or reduce as much confusion as possible. You won't eradicate a few confusion, especially coming from them, but it's to reduce it. And like Uru just pointed out, the way we reduce that is amongst men.
Have you have you have you brothers seen the video of the black woman who told her brother that this guy had done something to her?
Oh, I
Her
seen
brother
it,
killed the guy
yeah.
and went to prison for it, and she's laughing about it because the guy never did anything to her.
Wow. Oh yeah, I got that video on speed dial. I use
I've
that video
never
a lot.
seen that one. I've
Oh,
never
I see.
seen that one.
I got that
Wow.
video on speed dial, bro.
So I want you to understand that these are the type of agents of chaos and confusion you're talking about. Damn, what disadvantage they might have.
All is fair
If you
in love and war.
if you want an advantage or to be on an equal playing field, get married.
Well, my thing is, I'm not even gonna tell them to get married. If you want to be out there on your own, be out there on your own. That's you. But don't trip that I'm gonna act like you out there on your own. That's all I'm saying. Do what you want to do, but I'm gonna act the way that I'm supposed to act according to what the situation actually is. And this is a very hard thing for a lot of folks to understand, because y'all trust me, I do it with my own family. And I have to say tough words sometimes to my closest family member. No, I'm acting like the reality is what the reality is. It's not about how I feel. It's not about what I want. I'm just moving according to what the reality is. And at the end of the day, because she is in America, she has a right to go at it alone. Now, I think a lot of men need to start really impressing this ideal upon women, because they do talk about this stuff about, I get them saying, I don't need no man and all that type of stuff. But what they do not have an expectation is to go at it alone. If you get attacked, that's on you. You see what I'm saying? Just like the gentleman asked me about Sandra Massey, even though he kind of made his point clear, the thing is, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about her. She was an unmarried woman. I don't think there was anything to do. And that's because she decided to go at it alone. And I'm talking about life. You know,
Well,
because
that's
well,
where
let me say,
blanket shit.
but
My
let me say
bad.
this
Go ahead,
real
bro.
quick. Let me just say this, add a little piece, real, because a lot of people may say, well, but Roger, she needed help. She called the police. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you don't get to decide where confusion shows up. And that's a real part of life. You don't get to make that decision all the time. Sometimes you just step out your door and there go confusion. For her, she opened up the door and here came confusion. And the fact that she didn't have a husband, whether she thought about this or not, it ended up with her dying because she didn't have one. Now, I'm not saying everybody should die. I'm just saying these are realities of life that come up. Sometimes you die because you ain't got it. And in that case, it was a husband. She died because she didn't have it. Now, shout out to No Placeholder. He says what she did to her, bro, is diabolical at GBR. Women gonna be diabolical sometimes, y'all. It just is what it is. So my thing is, who are you helping? I can help you if I know what man is vouching for you. If I don't know the man vouching for you, I don't really know how to help you. That's real
See,
talk. Go ahead,
but see,
compassionate.
see, Roger, what's key is though, see what it boils down, because your system can't really see. Women are practical creatures. They take the environment for what it is, and for what it is what it is, not hypothetically. They operate as if they know that men operate with a blanket chivalry, meaning we help out every woman just because they're women. So they know they're not actually going at it alone because they know we operate by, if she fucks up or she trips, we're going to help her up. They know we operate by that in reality. Fuck what we say. They know that generally speaking, they can count on men being chivalrous for no other reason, not asking for their husband, not asking them, respecting them. And they got it to society successfully to the point where men generally don't ask women, where's your husband? Or where's your man? They just help them out. Which, so
Remember,
a lot of this the root starts with how we operate, because a lot of the shit they pull is contingent on how we operate. So as long as we got a blanket chivalry, that's why I say we might have to abolish blanket chivalry. That because
remember,
otherwise no other strategy can work, because they know operate by blanket chivalry. Fuck what y'all saying, these tweaking it here or there. No, the root is we operate as blanket chivalry so they can't operate as pseudo men with helpers on the side. That's how it works. They just don't say that.
I think that's a great point. Real talk.
I don't,
And I do
man.
think men need to
Sorry.
operate differently. Well, no, I'm gonna get to you next, user business. I do think men need to operate different because I remember I told y'all about a young lady who moved in. She had like 10 or 12 guys helping her out, and I asked the dude, I say, who with her? And they like none of them. You know, I'll always be confused about that one. Like these niggas really became suckers at a mass level. I don't remember exactly how many. It's like 10 to 12 guys. How do that many niggas help a chick and ain't nobody get nothing out of
Roger,
it? You
Roger, I
know?
thought you was lying when you said that story, but like dead ass, like a month ago, I was hanging a door in this little. She a stripper, low key, but she thick as hell. In her house through her friend. I know one of her friends I had was hanging a door. She just bought a crib and renovating it. And I got there and I was hanging the door, got it done. And I was sitting in the car and I saw all these niggas randomly pulling up. It was like 4 niggas pulling up, moving shit and breaking her cabinets out. And I started talking to niggas and I started to realize none of these niggas was fucking her. Well, my bum. None of them was in a relationship with her. And I realized, so what are y'all doing here? She was like, I'm just helping them out. You know, this my friend. And I'm like, what? Hold on, wait. This is a stripper. So I know y'all met her in the strip club and y'all basically helping renovate a stripper's house as a favor. I would have thought you was lying when you said that, but I saw that shit with my own eyes. I swear to God.
Hey man,
But she a
you
stripper.
know,
She got the money.
I'm in love with the
Nah,
stripper,
nah.
man. I'm in love with the stripper.
I was the only nigga getting paid. Them niggas was mad because they was arguing over who was gonna take the cabinet to the garbage can because the garbage can was too far. And that's when I realized y'all not getting paid. They said, hell no, bro. What the fuck? And I just went back to the car like, yeah, damn.
All right, well,
Nah.
let me get the super chat in and get to using business because I said I was gonna give him the flow. Shout out to Black Epstein. He say, "Is Shark sends a white man, Afro merchants suspects." Now I don't know. That must be a joke. That's got to be a joke.
Dark
But I
Sands
don't
is
get.
absolutely a white man. I've been had a hunch about that.
But usual business. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say. We're gonna get the flow to Jado right behind him because Jado just came up, y'all. You got a usual business.
Okay, I'm just gonna reinforce. I think Casual's notion that you can't give. It has to be zero, zero when it comes to giving these women the shelter that they want and protection that they want. It can't be, because I've seen on 3 different occasions. I've been in Uganda where I've seen Ugandan women say, "We raise our sons to be simps." I've seen Nigerian women say, "Yes, we raise our sons to be simps." So they understand, because at the collective level, they know it, that each one of these women, right? If she's raising that kid to quote unquote be a simp, to be a sucker, to do whatever what is it, small things that she is instilling to that child. So they do this even on the African continent. So I'm gonna be real hard. How y'all gonna stop that over here? But yeah, my boy.
No, it's a feature. It's a feature of the anatomy of female power. That's why smart women maintain control of the cradle, which is the kids, and the kitchen, which is the nourishment of the family. They've been doing this across the board. This is female tactics. This is why they insist on maintaining a psychological control over their children, because they know, like you said, they're adding this as a cog into a giant system of chivalrous ass niggas that allow them to be a lot more flexible. Otherwise, as opposed to a patriarchy where the men are assigned certain women to protect, where they got to fit into some framework. So I get why they would even do it. It's just we allow it. We allow it.
You allow it, and I'm gonna say one thing, because when you actually go in and within Saudi Arabia, you don't even have this. It's even as a concept, because at the end of the day, a woman's protection is her family and the people and the men that she have directly in her family, and also the men that they have allyship with. That's a true patriarchy, bro. Like I really think the more I actually keep looking at it, if you actually want to fix the problems, you really need to run a hard patriarchy. This medium patriarchy shit is not gonna fix the problems, bro. I hate to be that way, bro, but you gonna have to bring back hard. I ain't gonna say Genghis Khan level patriarchy, because I know Black Rule gonna say something about that. Nah, I ain't saying that one, but you do need to bring back some hard patriarchy.
What's wrong with Genghis Khan? What is wrong with Genghis Khan?
I mean, Black Rule he talking about some Genghis Khan shit. I was like, hold on now. I just wanted to say, because I don't want people out here trying to say I'm start a revolution. All I'm saying is we gonna have to make some changes, though.
And men gonna have to ask themselves: are you psychologically prepared to be a patriarch? Like you said, it's a different type of posture, and we not really. If we being real, we a bunch of runaway gynocrats on this panel.
And that's what I was gonna say as the white guy on the panel. I was just gonna say, see, we don't have that problem. We put our foot in asses and chicks disappear. So this is just a problem between y'all. I'm over here trying to give y'all some advice. Y'all want to treat me not nice, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and it sounds bad. The threat of violence is on the table in every stable culture. It is what it is. And I know as matriarchists and ex-gynocrats, that makes us feel a little weird. That does. But we see what the absence to that posture is. Our women are absolutely not worried about at all a Black man doing nothing to them. You can tell.
I'm gonna tell you this much, right? I've been to Japan one time, right? Japan women, I'm like this. Japan women are sneaky. I give you that. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, they some sneaky women, right? But they sneaky enough not to let themselves get caught. That's the thing I can say about them. They sneaky enough not to let themselves get caught. They're some sneaky ass women, bro. But they sneaky enough not to let you catch them.
Now I don't know what's going on over here. I just know I got knocked off, and I said out Jado can get the flow because he had just came up, and look what's going on. Look what's going on.
I'm so sorry, Jado.
Jado, you want to get in, bro?
I'm letting them have at it, Roger. Thanks for having me up, man. Yeah, just I guess it's like hey, what's up, fellas, and everybody on in the chat. I guess I'm just throwing a rhetorical question out there, man. Who's at a greater risk of danger? Is it a woman that's uncovered
An unruly woman that's uncovered saying, "Hey, I need protection. No one's protecting me. I need protection." Or is it the man that's willing to offer her that protection? Who's at a greater risk?
I think
The man that's offering it.
the
Yes.
man is offering it
Statistically,
definitely.
statistically is it's
I
I
said the
mean
man is offering.
statistically it's like 20 to 1. It's like 20 to 1. Almost in terms of the
So,
man being at greater risk.
I'm saying I'm hey Rod, I ain't trying to throw no I'm just flipping it, man. You need to protect yourself. Shout out to Tunnel Run. I know he says that as his closing statement, man. You're at a greater danger. So if you're trying to run around trying to protect some random woman, you should be protected, man. You're at a greater risk at getting something happening to you. And I'll just end right there. Thanks for having me up, Ross.
Protection costs, man. Protection costs. What is she willing to pay for that protection? That really is the question. What is she willing to pay for it?
That's why we got pimps out here.
Yeah,
These
exactly. Hey, pimp,
hoes
you
need
got to pay them.
protection. They need pimps.
It's funny enough. Even in the strip club, they say out here in Atlanta. I hate to say it, but even the OGs say these women need pimps, bro. You can't decenter the man because the man is key to the usually running the whole thing. So I mean, you got a whole bunch of runaway what is it rogues out here trying to run they lives in their streets, and it ain't working apparently. So
Yep.
runaway rogues. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I,
Yeah, I
these
mean,
women are.
look, I mean,
Go ahead.
no,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead, go
Ru.
ahead.
No, these women are out of
Well,
control,
I
and
think,
an uncovered woman is just an agent of chaos out here. They're uncovered on purpose. They don't want protection. They've been advertising it and telling it to us for years. We should believe them, and we should leave them alone. We should leave them to the world and let the world have their way with them. And maybe the younger women witnessing it will turn about face. Well, go ahead, Uru. I think we got a delay.
That's the best thing.
well, I think what we're witnessing is the uncoupling of this whole black community fantasy. Because a lot of this talk about protecting women is based on this false principle of a broad black community. And it was always a flawed concept because when there was anything close to a black community, the majority of the adult people in that community were married or widowed. So when you had a real black community, the issue of protecting the women was not an issue because the women had husbands, or even in the case of widows, they had sons and other extended family members who definitely saw it as their duties to protect the widows of fallen or departed good men. That's when you had a real community. And so in that real community, the the protection of women, and not just wives, but of course mothers, daughters. Daughters were in the households with their fathers, right? Grandmothers were very often in the household of their, one of the children, one of their adult children, who was mostly married, and so I mean there wasn't this issue of having to create some mechanism of protecting women. It's this new thing that has come up because they're not married, they're not even committed to men, they're just out there in the world. The world is progressively showing its ass to them, and their asses aren't covered. And so things have changed. But now we're going to appeal to this fantasy notion of a tradition that never really existed in the way that you thought it existed and you want it to exist today.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump in here and say, shout out to No Placeholder. Appreciate you, my brother. He says, that's right, Shark Sims. We
He absolutely right about that. You can you
and
guys
I'm
hear
not
me?
here saying that we need to quote unquote charge women some specific amount. What I'm saying is, y'all, there needs to be a cost, okay, and the cost needs to be presented. It should be something that they're running into all the time. They want this. They want the protection of having a bunch of husbands without having a bunch of husbands. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and I believe foolishly say black women don't want to get married. They're trying to get married to white men. It just is what it is. If she's 30 years old and she ain't married to a black man already, she's one of those women who want to get married to a white man. You're just gonna have to accept that at the end of the day.
Well, hold on. I want to clarify a point because I want to be. You say, because you use two different verbs there that I don't think mean the same thing. You said wanting to get married to white man and trying to get married to white man. Now, I definitely think they want to get married to white men. I don't see any evidence of much of them many trying to get married to white men.
Thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Uru, because they see the same women y'all see, and we not accepting that nonsense. So they might want to, but we ain't taking that.
I mean, no, they are trying.
I mean,
no, they are definitely trying.
No, first of all,
no, they're not.
You're not the fattest people in the country if you're trying to marry white men. You're just not.
Thank you.
No. I'm gonna say it like this. I think you looking at it wrong. For a black woman getting on the internet and yelling that a white man need to come pick her up is her trying. Now, granted, I may not be the highest attempt that we know that she could possibly put on.
No,
but
that
is definitely her.
If they was trying, they would be.
I mean, but what
you're
saying is the equivalent of saying, I want to win the lottery, therefore I'm actually trying to win the lottery. I mean, that's functionally equivalent of what you're saying.
Well, that is how black women kind of work, though.
But Uru's saying something. So what Uru is saying is absolutely correct. You can't want something and you're not trying to get it. You know what I mean? And trying to get it with them be shutting their mouth and not being unruly every chance they get to show the public. You know what I mean? They would keep that in the privacy of their home, and we just wouldn't know that until we get with a black woman. The average white man could look at the internet and TikTok and realize that ain't what we want to do.
Okay, let me jump in real quick. Hold on, let me jump in real quick because I seem to be having some internet trouble. You can try something, but try it very poorly. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So two things can be happening at the same time. I just don't think black women are good at getting married. Period. I don't think they're good at it. Period. Okay, and I'm just being for real. It's not me.
Hold on. But I'm just saying, because I'm assuming black women have basic intelligence, right? We're all assuming. Now, if you are fat and disagreeable, ornery, do public displays of audaciousness, you got the velociraptor fingernails and the garish weave and the batwing eyelashes. What white men are you trying to appeal to with that?
No.
Like, really?
No. I think that's a great point, Black Rule. I just think black women foolishly believe that they can get somebody to like them regardless of how they present themselves. Black women collectively are foolish. That's what I really believe.
No, Roger, that's false too, because y'all accept them any way they come.
Many of them instinctively know that they stand no chance of getting a white dude, so they don't try. There are some very poor attempts at it as well, but there is a good population that no, I don't stand a chance. I'm not trying, but they may fantasize about it still.
Yeah,
That is also true.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm also saying is this much, right? Just like Roger said, they also have their poor attempts. So what's a poor attempt? You don't fat shame women, right? That's a poor attempt. Quote unquote. Reason I didn't get picked by a white man is because I'm dark skinned and or they don't like dark skinned fat women. That's another way of them trying to quote unquote do it, right? They do a lot of different ways. They come on the internet and say ain't nothing good about a black man. That's the same thing, right? They doing the same thing.
It's a wide range. It's some that don't attempt at all, and it's poor attempts all the way up to the greatest attempts, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, but my point is, if she makes it to 30, a lot of times it's because she spent too much time trying to get somebody else to do something outside of black men. That's really what my main point is, regardless of how good or bad they're at it. White men are not really that big a deal because, again, when you start looking at the marriage rates, only like 0.5% of them have even married a black woman. So they ain't feeling them at the end of the day. But it's not about what the white man is feeling. It's about what we feel. And when it comes down to it, somebody just said in the chat, he said, shout out to Jethro Mully. He says, we need to protect our women at all costs. That's a nice thing to say, but the first thing before I even go into what it would actually cost, you got to accept that some people are our women and some people are not. If they're not married to us, how do you know that they're your woman?
No, Jethro, who is your woman, bro? You got to establish that first off. I mean,
well, reading the name Jethro Mully, he's white like me, and we mean protecting our women by keeping them away from your women.
And see, my thing is, from a large scale. Now, if I know you personally, and I know you're with this particular woman, okay, then see, something can register to my mind. But that's micro. When you go to the macro, I don't know everybody who's connected to everybody. So if she's unmarried to a black man, how do I know she belongs to any of us? If I don't know you on a personal level, and I don't know the black man is claiming you, when did she become ours? And I think we fundamentally have a problem with that as black men. If they're not married to us, they're not ours. Now, you can deal with someone on a personal level and say she belongs to us because you know her details. I don't know her details if she's a stranger to me.
But honestly, I think this is like a new craze, a new phase in the black community, because I think black women talk themselves out of protection, because there was a time where you didn't need to be married to a black man. As long as you was a black woman and you was in the black community, we had your back. But all of that talking that they have done, shaming us and blaming us and calling cops on us, and all, I think it made the average black man look at them like they are the enemy now.
I mean, that was the problem, though. No, I agree. That was the problem, though.
Yeah,
that's how we got here, because that was the problem. That they believed that they could quote unquote do that for so long is why you got here in the first place.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I'm just trying to do something because of where we are. I agree with you that that's a lot of the reason of how we got to where we are. But now that we are where we are, we have to make adjustments. And what I'm saying is, I'm not even talking to black women. More than likely going to turn against me. So there's no reason for me to do it. There's also a situation where, not only is it not good for me to help her with her man, truth be told, if these are women that we're not married to, and I don't know your personal details, at the end of the day, you're not one of ours. I'm not going to waste my time trying to help somebody who is my enemy at the end of the day. And unfortunately, if you want to look at it this way, we do live in America. America is built on the hatred of black men. That is literally all throughout this country. So if you're not married to us, how am I supposed to figure you don't agree with that concept? At least if you got a black husband, you ain't even got to necessarily be a good wife, but at least I have something to go on to say, well, she messed with us at least a little bit. But if you ain't even got a black husband, how am I supposed to think you're on black men's side at all? And I don't even personally know you. That sounds crazy to me.
But she has a black husband because the white man didn't want her. Don't forget that part.
I mean, it is what it is, but it's about how much information you're going to be exposed to. If I don't know a woman, I don't know why she got married to some husband, but at least if she got a black husband, maybe I'm going to think she on our side until she showed me something different. If she don't have a black husband at all, there's no reason for me to believe that you even on our side. Now, I got to read these super chats by my main man, Terenzo Jones. Appreciate you, my brother. Terenzo says, tect and protect from Latin tectus, meaning to be covered, hidden, a roof. In both man, women, and child, one's protector is one's mind. So yes, on a physical aspect, protection should be a cost. Salute. Hey, appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my brother. And I'm gonna say, look, we live in America, y'all. When we become adults, we can do a lot of the same things. I am not here saying women don't need protection. The only thing I'm saying is we need to consider how that protection is going to come. And if somebody started talking about how women need some other protection outside of the police force, then my question is, who's going to pay for it? And this is what men need to start addressing women with. So honestly, it's really just to get them to stop even talking about it. Because they're not going to talk about it if they believe they got to pay for it. It's like paying for a first date. Women don't want to do that, and they don't bring it up. When you start talking about dating, they insist that a man pays for the first date. They even start saying stuff about how, well, whoever asks needs to pay for the date. Why do they say that? Because they have no plans on asking a man out. So if the protection, if they want more protection than beyond what the police can do for them, either we need to change what the police do, or they're going to have to pay for private services. And I'm not saying that to make it a joke. I'm saying that's what black women need to start hearing when they start having conversations about their protection. Because I don't know of a married woman who's not protected. You would have to be in a war-torn country for a wife to feel scared. Married women don't have these problems. You know, they got some husband. You know, that guy got friends. They got the neighborhood. They look out for each other. I've never known married people not to look out for each other. So those wives feel pretty good. And who do you see on the internet complain about protection on a regular basis? It's a bunch of single women. Well, guess what? We need to throw the money aspect out to them. I understand y'all want to be protected, but this America, everything ain't free. We're in a capitalist country. What you willing to pay for it? You know, that should be a real thing that's brought to the table. Now, if they don't see, and a lot of people, it's like y'all want to use certain stuff to browbeat women into submission. I'm not saying anything about trying to browbeat them in submission. I don't care if they ever conform. I'm just saying, for us as black men, why are we even concerned with their safety if there's no dollars they talking about putting toward? That's me. The same way I just responded when the gentleman asked me about Sandra Massey. What was my response? I don't remember her being married. What am I supposed to do about it? It's not even my concern. And I think we need to be more upfront about that with women. It should not be our concern. You're not our wives, and that's the majority of black women. And you're not paying me any type of security fee. You gonna pay me? I go get a security license or whatever. You know, I go to the gym on a regular basis. But you know how much it's gonna cost? Because I gotta be able to provide my own home. I gotta pay for cars. I gotta be able to pay to go out and kick it here and there. I gotta live a real life, even though I can be on your security team. Well, are you gonna pay me for all that? And I'm only gonna protect one. You know? Now that woman gonna really need about 3 dudes to protect her. Because you need somebody to, you can do a 12 to 8 a.m.
Yeah. Well,
Then you got to get a
I
40
mean,
midnight guy.
to the extent that you're willing to do this thing about getting paid to protect them, I mean, I guess that'll work for you. I think most men, when they think about women and think about protecting women, most men are not as business minded as you are in terms of presenting that issue to them. I think more men would probably be more comfortable with just arguing, look, I only protect my wife and my children. So if you're not my wife, you're not my daughter, maybe my mother, maybe, and that can be very kind of situational. Then by God's right, I'm not obligated to protect you. I'm not obligated to protect some woman who does not fit within my dominion as a man. Period. I mean, and you're not gonna. Because here's the thing: what are you gonna pay me to protect you? I don't know you. I don't know what the hell you're into. I don't know what you're gonna be able to pay me even to be able to do that. I just sooner not be bothered with you altogether.
I was kind of going to go that direction too. Uru was like, I mean, I've never done no type of bodyguarding or security service, but I'm saying like, I would imagine if I was in that field that there's a lot of clients I would like deny. There will be some clients, I don't care what they would say, they would offer me. Because let's say you're some unruly person, you got this security person, and I like to fight. I'm gonna start picking fights with them because I got security behind me. You know what I'm saying? So I will say, hey, your money means nothing
the movie. Remember the movie The Bodyguard? Black women luxuriate over Kevin Costner protecting them via Whitney Houston. But if you recall, at the very beginning of their exchange, he walked off. He was like, "Shit, if you're not gonna follow my program, in addition to paying me, because he was being paid by her, but in addition to being paid by her, if you're not gonna follow my program, then I don't need this shit. Yeah, I might take a protection gig if not only you're gonna pay me, but do everything I tell you to do. Yeah, I might take that job for 5,000 a day or something like that. I don't know. Maybe.
Nah,
I might take that guy gig. Yeah.
Wait, but Uru, remember the key line in that whole movie was he told her, "I can't protect you if you're not going to listen to me."
Yeah, and see,
right. Well, that's my point.
I'm not saying that men truly need to go out and be women's bodyguards, but what I am saying is, if women are asking for protection, that's really what you have to get at this. But if the police ain't enough, you need a bodyguard. And
Well,
well, that is what but that literally is what you're asking for. that literally is what you're asking for.
what these women are asking for is a credit that has run out. Back in the day, black women in particular, were assumed to be wholesome women. They carried themselves a certain kind of way. They dressed themselves a certain kind of way. They spoke a certain kind of way, and they were full of femininity. So they were worthy in mass of the protection. Well, that credit done ran out. Women these days, they advertise themselves as whores. They dress like whores. They behave like whores. Who out here protecting the whores for free?
Right.
I mean, I think they're asking for freedom from consequences. That's what I think they're asking for, really. Freedom
It
from
sounds like to me.
consequences.
It sounds like to me they actually want pimps.
The The pimp gets every 90% of everything you make. That's what that's
The
supposed
pimp
to be the
gets
cost
every.
Yep.
of
Nah, they
90?
paying
protection.
nothing
Hold
like they gonna
on,
pimp.
Guru. You say 90?
Yeah,
No, it's supposed to be 100.
yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, he gets it all, but I guess he gives us something, right? You got to give us something. I guess I don't know.
It comes to,
Maybe my
after
pimp
he
game
goes
ain't
to his
strong enough.
pocket,
I
then
don't
he
know.
gets it.
Yeah,
I give her a place to
so
stay.
I mean, yeah, unless you willing to pay a steep price and do everything I tell you to do, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah. When they refer to this protection, if you listen to the conversation, they're always talking about why men don't do stuff like they used to do. When was used to? Because it wasn't last week. It wasn't last month. It wasn't even 10 years ago.
No, I
They're
mean,
talking about
Yeah,
they're talking about in the old days when women were doing what they needed to do in order to get that type of protection, or to get that kind of covering, or to get that type of provision.
they're talking about when 75% of women were married, not 75% were single.
yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. You
exactly.
know, so that's why I'm saying we do need to deal with this conversation and from a understanding they can get. Protection ain't free. You got a right to be protected, but you have a responsibility to learn how to protect yourself.
Yep.
You know? Now,
Yeah, I mean, it's really that simple.
yeah, if you don't take that responsibility on, what you want me to do?
But hey, Roger, do you think they don't get that, or is it the men? Yeah, I mean, I
No,
guess I'm pretty sure you get putting it out. Yeah, but
no,
I think they understand that.
I'm not saying whether they do or they don't. I
They
know it's
do
not being
understand that.
said. No, the
It's us,
issue is
it's the men
We're
that
talking
we have the problem.
no.
we're
I
talking to the men. We're telling the men this is how you need to be moving.
what I'm saying
Yeah.
is whether they understand it or not, it is not being addressed. And one of the basic things about solving problems is you must address the problem itself. If you don't address the problem, it's hard for it to get fixed. So what I'm saying is men need to
Well,
actually
what's the real problem? The real problem is the perception, the men's perception of their responsibility.
Yes.
That's the real problem.
Starting from a false premise.
Yeah.
Using that false premise, yeah. But they
Look,
definitely is starting from a false
when
premise.
you have a wife and children, you're not confused about who you're supposed to be protecting. You're not confused by that, and you're judicious about that. Look, a lot of the trouble I might have been inclined to get into, I avoided because I had a wife. So no, I'm not trying to just play some random hero game out here, even if I were inclined to.
So you saying black women basically want what is it, a la carte patriarch, right? I need this man to come out here and take a bullet. This man come take a
What's the
bullet.
name? Mr. Z said what feminism by well, I mean patriarchy by feminist specifications. I know we kind of debated what patriarchy is, but I think for the purposes of this discussion that the whole patriarchy by feminist specifications, I guess that's kind of an example of it, where you take this element of patriarchy, and that is protection of women and children, but you put it in this context of women being able to do whatever they want to do while you protect them. So yeah,
No,
patriarchy by
I,
feminist education.
or I like to call it patriarchy. They want a matriarchy with patriarchal benefits. That's what I like to call it. That's like I like to call it because it's actually exactly on point. They want to run the still matriarchy, but they want the patriarchal benefits. Oh, I want what the women of Saudi Arabia do, but the women of Saudi Arabia do something different. I want the women what Genghis Khan women get, but Genghis Khan women do something different. I want to do something that the Spanish woman get, but do you do what the Spanish woman does, right? She wants the matriarchy, right? But she wants the patriarchal benefits. That's not how it's gonna run. If you want a Zulu quote unquote captain leader kind of man, then woman, you need to do what the Zulu woman do. You need to be a Zulu maiden. Matriarchy with patriarchal benefits, but that's what I like to say though.
Yeah. So, but look, the main reason why, and I mean, this is kind of, I said it earlier, but the big reason why a lot of men are confused by this is because you all don't have families. And here's the thing, and I'm not saying go get a family, but what I'm saying is that there is an element within us as a species, as the male of a species, is we are designed to protect women and children. We are designed to do that. In fact, every drive in mammalian species is designed for the male to protect the women and the children. That's the only way that species survives. The lioness and the cubs do not survive the hyena without the lion. And so it's very natural for men to want to protect women. But what happens when you have this element within you to want to protect, but don't have that companion leadership and dominion, because that lion is also dominion of a pride of lionesses and cubs. So yeah, he's risking his life for something he has dominion over. Well, what happens if you have a lion and he puts himself in a position, or his inclination, say, protect a bunch of lioness and cubs, and neither the lionesses or the cubs belong to him? Well, that's a very foolish lion. That's a lion that will not survive into succeeding generations. And that's what you all have been made to do. You all have been made to be that lion that preserves something that does not carry forth your own into succeeding generations. That is what they will have of you.
I want to get these super chats in. I got, my apology, y'all. I'm having some difficulty with the internet today. Shout out to Bronk. He says this channel has been very insightful. A lot of young black men would greatly benefit from plugging into a community like this. The talking points are real, raw, and honest. A lot of us found ourselves here from experience. I'm gonna say shout out to you, Bronk. Appreciate that support, and I'm gonna have to agree with it. I mean, I can't disagree with it. Real talk. Appreciate you saying that. Real talk. And shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. He says, and I like calling it feminist feudalism. That's an interesting term. That's an interesting, shout out to No Placeholder. He says, in a functional matriarchy, the men do protect. And I guess I'm gonna say to this, y'all. The reason I'm addressing this way is because
repeat that. Hold on, repeat that statement.
He said, in a functional matriarchy, the men do protect.
There is no such thing as a quote unquote. My bad. I ain't gonna say that. It's not technically true.
I think he needs to provide an example of a functional matriarchy.
You start with a false norm in the first place. A functional matriarchy. You never almost ever see that, bro.
I mean, he had a point, though. He had a point.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance to provide an example of it.
That's what I'm saying.
A chance to provide an example of it.
And don't come up here talking about the woman king either, brother.
I think he's cracking a joke to make a point, because if you are functioning in a matriarchy, yes, your women are going to be protected because it's a matriarchy. So yeah, you're gonna move like a drone and do what you got to do. Shout out to Terrizzo Jones again. He says, at Black Rule Strikes, Mr. That is well said. Dominion, dom, which is house, home, master, structure, men, plus I, minds, I, and on meaning light, amen, Ra, to include God. Okay, so this is what dominion really is. And I know I missed something what was said because like I said, my internet having trouble for some reason. I don't know what's going on. But I guess what this is about is having, protecting the women you have dominion over, which I do agree with, because I say all the time, you protect and provide for those you lead. And I think this is important because a lot of black men, we believe we supposed to do it just cause. And I think that's where we messing up. We're supposed to do it just cause. It is okay to start asking women about how much protection is going to cost. Because it's a real thing and it's a real cost. And I don't want to protect some random woman and my lights go out. Okay? I don't want to protect some random woman and now I can't afford gas for my own car. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if you want 24-hour protection, you need 3 guys. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can do a midnight to 8 a.m. Somebody else can come in and do 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then you got a guy that's doing 4 p.m. to midnight. That's 8 hours, 24 hours in a day. That's real money. If you ain't talking about paying real money to have 3 guys protect you 24 hours a day, I mean, you can either scale it back or shut up. Real talk. Because my lights got to stay on. All 3 of the guys, we all need gas for our cars. How we going to get to work? We ain't got no gas. Okay, you got to pay some real money out. And it ain't like black women trying to do that. And I do think black men need to accept that I'm important enough to be paid. If police protection is not enough and you want extra, I'm important enough. I can open up a service for you, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay me something. Now, I'm not saying it's like black men really finna go out here and start charging women. What I'm saying is women can't afford it, so you might as well be quiet and get protection the best way you can. Either you provide it for yourself or you go get you a husband. It's that simple to me. But no placeholder is here, so I'm going to go ahead and give him the mic. You got it, brother.
Hello, Roger. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. We hear you.
What's going on, panel? Yes. I just want to jump in very quickly, provide some details on that statement the black who requested it. But yeah, so I was referring to what I've heard listening to BGS and the other people that are talk about matriarchies in the past. We're not referring to, because keep in mind, in all the examples that they were mentioning, that when you get to a certain population size, you can't continue with a matriarchy. It's just not a functional way of living. But there have been smaller civilizations that have worshipped women, because we've had times in history where the concept of having children, being the portal, the female, has been worshipped. And in that scenario, those men protect those women. I'm saying, understand, whether it be for reason of deity or wherever it is. And they do submit to the idea that these women have maybe divine power or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And they basically protect those women and basically acquiesce to that. So I'm not referring to in the sense of like big civilization. But yeah, that's what I mean. So in that scenario, which is a matriarchy, those men protect those women. And that's what I'm trying to say. What we have is a gynocracy, which BGS talks about, which is different. Not only is the gynocracy, this is the state-sponsored gynocracy. So it's very different. That's what I'm saying. But anyway,
No,
that was quickly what I wanted.
I look at it vastly different. Well, from what he said and what Black Uru said. For me, I guess I'll maybe because it's a little different of the age group or something like that. Basically, I think what he was saying something to the kind of putting some effort into something that you're not gonna get out of, right? For me, all I call that is just white supremacy slavery. For me, my brain can only recognize that as white supremacy slavery, and I just reject the whole notion. Now, for me, that's why I have such a I don't know, a vid just like anti. I just don't mess with certain kind of individual women and certain kind of notions, because I just look at that as white supremacy, slave culture. And I just kind of just disregard all of that, right? So what I'm actually seeing is actually the healing of Black America. After people saying "quote unquote" is the problem, I was like, no, it's the healing of Black America, right? Because as these quote unquote men are seeing and seeing these women through the correct eyes as white supremacist collaborators, or they're going in the right direction. Those dudes out there marrying quote unquote Latin women, they're going in the right direction. The dudes that's being passport boys, they're going in the right direction. The dudes that's out there, like you said, going to Uganda, marrying women out there, they're going in the right direction. I think the problem is I think a lot of people are just not uncomfortable. They're just coming to the realization that yes, most of these women are white supremacists. So if you're dating these women, you're harboring most likely a white supremacist. Now you may find a good one, like you said, you may find a woman with no legs or a man with no legs, but that's a rarity.
Well, to address the question of the functionality of a matriarchy, my question to in a response to no placeholder, well, because I respect that's a valid assertion, or at least a theory based on certain environments. Supposedly, certain Native American tribes had a somewhat matriarchal structure or whatever. My only retort to that would be, in what sort of scenario in the modern world could you have a matriarchy that created competitive men, competitive families, competitive communities? In the
I have an
modern
answer for
world,
you.
where could you
In the
find
modern world, is the Jewish people. The closest example I give to is Jewish people.
Bro.
I mean, I'm not. When I look at Netanyahu, I don't think I see a matriarchy there.
No, I was not referring to.
I
I
don't
was
think
saying
I
the
see a
line of
matriarchy.
being a line. I was referring to like being a Jew comes from
I mean, I'm
basically
just saying.
Jewish comes from your
You
mother.
said Jewish.
That's their religion, bro. That's not.
Well, no, that is certification of Jewry. That is certification of Jewry identity. That's not any. That does not confer any formal power to the female Jew. That's simply
So
saying
it's
because we know this child came. Let me
mm-hmm.
finish. That just means because we know this child came out of a Jewish woman, that person is a Jew. And that was created that way to certify Jewry. It wasn't to confer special and unique power to a female. It was to say, in prior to DNA testing, if you will, we
Yes,
know this child
that's
came
what I'm
out of a
saying.
Jewish woman, therefore this child is a Jewish. Now you're claiming the father is Jewish that came out of a Gentile woman. We don't necessarily know that,
All right.
but
You
that's
know,
a product of a different sort of time,
you,
technology, that sort of thing.
you know what, gentlemen?
That's what I was referring to. It was
You
an
know what,
old
gentlemen?
concept that. Pardon, right.
You know what, gentlemen? I don't think my channels can stand talking about Jewish people. So, and I'm having trouble with the internet
Yeah.
today, so I
Well,
can't even regulate.
forgive me, Roger. And the
No,
only reason I elaborate on it because we weren't alluding to anything that was
yeah,
defamatory or whatever. We were just
yeah.
speaking specifically about how that works. But yeah, definitely going forward,
Nah,
we'll avoid mentioning
hey,
that. All I'm just going to say is that issue was less about it. That was more about author guaranteeing connection to a particular tribe. It wasn't
yeah,
about conferring any special power to a female.
yeah. And
I
all I'm
mean,
saying, just so y'all know, I ain't got nothing. I'm not saying anything against what y'all said or even the Jews, but I know I'm having some trouble with the internet today, and I done had multiple channels, so I just don't even think my channel can stand much
Enough said.
Jewish mentions. That's
Enough
all.
said.
I
Enough
ain't trying
said.
to piss them people off. I ain't their enemy. I ain't trying to
Especially
piss
not
them off.
now.
Yeah,
Especially
I
not
ain't trying
now
to piss
because
them
it's
off. You know
hot
what I'm
now. So especially not
saying?
now.
Hey, they
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah.
They protected.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
I,
no,
hey,
I mean, I asked you that question, no placeholder, because I just don't see any scenario in the modern age in which having a system that is deferential to the female produces competitive communities and families, and especially not competitive men. I don't see that.
Not in the
Never in
modern
the
world.
never in the history of man has a female-led society conquered or produced anything worth having. Never
I
happened.
was
Notice I
just
said
about
these
to
were
say that.
smaller.
I was
Remember I said
just
these were
about to say that.
smaller. I said these are smaller civilizations, and these examples are basically ancient civilizations, and are older, and these are
Well,
based on, as
even
I
in a
mentioned,
smaller, even if even in a smaller community, you're still going to have the threat of some band of men from another community coming over and running all over those women.
that's what I'm saying. Black Hulu.
So
I'm
how
not
long
talking
is
about
that even going
Themyscira.
to?
Black Hulu. I'm not talking about Themyscira. I'm
I'm just
talking about
saying,
actual
in the
society where it's
example,
50-50 and the
I'm
men
saying
defer to
in
the
the
women on purpose.
example, I'm saying in the example you're citing, it was always
Mhm.
one group of men away from saying, "Damn that,
No, no,
we're
no,
gonna
no. Black
we're
Hulu.
gonna
The
kill the
women and
men
the men lived in the same
and
group. They just choose to defer to the female
no." But
for religious
listen
reasons or
to
whatever
what I'm
reason it is.
saying. Okay,
Okay.
listen to what I'm saying. Unless those are the only people on Earth, they were one roaming group of human beings from another part of that island or another part of that landmass away from tearing that whole damn thing down. Because that group that traveled over to them, that's a rough and hardy group. That group has
It
had
doesn't mean the men
to
are not
forage
strong.
Hey,
food. Let me
I'm not
hold on
finish.
one
saying the
second.
Let
men
me
are
finish.
strong, Black Hulu. I'm just
That
saying
group,
the men
that
choose to defer
that
to women
group
for
has.
religious reasons.
Those kinds of men are not going to survive men who travel across the country fighting off lions and shit. When they get to that group of men, those guys are ready to rock and roll.
Have you ever?
And those guys
Okay,
who've
Black
been
Hulu.
pacified,
I mean,
and those men who've been pacified by those women are going to get killed.
but I'm trying to say,
That's how.
Black Hulu,
How do you
you're
think Genghis?
assuming that they were
Listen to me.
subjugated.
How do you think? How do you think? How do you
Guys.
think Genghis Khan? How do you think Genghis Khan was able to conquer so many people?
Yeah.
Because when he was coming into town, he was ready to rock and roll. Those guys weren't ready for that.
Okay.
And you're
I'm
not
gonna
going
say
to tell me a society that's built up by women are going to be prepared for that. They're just
It's not
not. It's
necessarily
not an
Black Hulu.
insult to the
Okay,
women,
can I make a
but
can I make a certain point? It is not necessarily built by the women. The men are still there and they're still providing labor and they're still doing what they do as men. It's just that for religious reasons they defer to their women.
okay.
You know what I'm
And
saying? They,
this what I'm saying, y'all.
yeah.
We gonna talk about our group instead of somebody else's group because we got a few more minutes of show left. I got Tunnel Runner who just came up. I'm gonna give him the mic. Douglas Lattimore is backstage, so I'm gonna bring him up. Douglas, I got you. I got 10-foot Koofy back there too. So I'm gonna get you guys in. So I'm gonna let these guys get an opening statement, y'all. And we're gonna get ready to close the show down around the 3 hour mark. I may let another 5 or so minutes go. I'm gonna take myself down for a moment real quick so I can do what I need to do. But what we not gonna do is talk about them people because them people and me don't need no problems right now. And I don't have no problem with the system itself, and I don't want no smoke. I'm trying to lead them people where they at, y'all. I just got monetized a couple months ago. I ain't trying to build no new channel again. Okay, we're not trying to do this again. So let's talk about what's going on in our group and let them people deal with they. That's all I'm saying. Okay, because the subject of that really ain't the subject of the show anyway. Because even from a matriarchal position, the women would have to just simply pay because they would be in charge. So they would be making us do stuff, but they would have to reward us for doing stuff. So at the end of the day, I think the problem is black men believe we have a responsibility to women that we are not responsible for. And we need to start saying and if we don't want to talk about paying somebody to do something, I don't even think protection should be asked for. So turn around and get in there with your opening statement, and then let's let Douglas Lattimore get in as well. And I'm going to bring them other two guys up. All right.
Okay, I'm ready to go. I was going to let them know. I want them to know that my wife has a small platoon of men that will protect her because of me, and she listens to me, and they are there to protect me, and because she's with me, she will get protected. So if women just find yourself a good man, they will be well protected. You want to be, I can't protect you if you won't listen to me. So you have to listen to whoever, if you have a bodyguard, if you have protection, you have to listen to them. If you're not going to listen and you want to walk off a cliff, I can't do nothing with you because if you grab onto me before you fall, I grab onto you before you fall, you might pull me down. So protection, when women want protection, they got to listen to the one who's going to protect them. And other than that, they're lost in the sauce because this world is a dangerous world without a man. And a lot of them smart women understand that. I'll drop right there.
Who's next?
I think I'm next, Douglas.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yes. All right. Real brief on the matriarchy. There's never been a matriarchy. There's no such thing. There's always been a man in charge, a king, whatever. They just allow women to do some things. But then the other thing I wanted to mention about paying, or excuse me, have cause. Let's see. Making women pay for the services of being protected. I do agree that that's a good thing. I would just say I just want to caution people. Like my experience is women will ask me to do things and they'll even pay me, but somehow, some way, they find a way to waste my time to get something else extra out of me. So that's just the little bit I wanted to add.
That's called
It wouldn't be
discipline.
women. It wouldn't be women if they didn't try, bro. They wouldn't be.
You,
Well,
you know what?
no,
The more
go
I
ahead,
hear
bro.
y'all, my bad, my bad.
Go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
more the more I'm hearing y'all, the more I fully understand. I think I can see a little bit of a difference. Like I fully see women as truly as they truly are, without no hesitations, without no reservations. I truly understand what I'm dealing with across the table, right? Right. Like I know I'm dealing with like a full lion 100%. And what I'm dealing with, I'm always dealing with this lion with lion rules, right? I think the problem is I think black men are dealing with women necessarily not through the eyes of I'm gonna say which how they should be, which is out of a patriarchal or masculine view, right? They're looking at women through the feminine view, right, or a different view lens, right? Because for me, I understand the law of the jungle is you gotta have strength, you gotta have power, right, to enforce your will, right? And if you don't got that, then you gonna listen to the will of somebody else. So I understand that when I'm dealing with women, women come with the same mentality. They trying to enforce their will upon me, and it's either me to have the strength to or the strength of will and character to say no and enforce my will upon them. It's vice versa. I'm starting to see a lot of people don't understand that that is the actual game, and she will force her will upon you if you like it or not. And I'm leaving it there.
Yeah, no, that's a very important point. Um, it is about power and it is about will, and there, whereas men generally the will is greater power, greater resources, greater some degree greater status. Status is usually a product of power, resources, and whatever at some point. But for them, it's more manipulation and coercion and seduction and guilting, etc. But ultimately, it is about power. It's about getting something done efficient at maximum efficiency for them. And maximum efficiency for a woman is to get a man to do it. What was that? Roseanne Barr had a great line about that. The smartest woman in the world is someone who gets a man to do stuff for her, and that's generally true. A woman can move mountains if she can influence the right man. And a lot of this protection talk is really about how do I get the masses of men to fall for this scheme about community protection? Because that's what it's really about. This scheme of community protection. But the scheme is it's created or it's based on a fallacy that has not really existed within the context in which they present it to be. It's a product of something else that existed that has gone away, and now they're trying to wear the honor cloak of their grandmothers or great grandmothers who probably get a lot more actual contribution to a community by virtue of making a home, making a neighborhood, baking, and cooking for the churches, fundraisers and stuff like that. So those women, yeah, they earned quote protection by being married, by being good citizens, by being good members of the community. They earned community, and they want to take that and transfer that shit into today for them, and they ain't done shit for nobody.
And we have
Absolute
some new
fact.
wives out there. We have some new wives that don't listen to their husbands. Their husband tells them to cover up, they won't cover up. We got some new women out here who are wives who are not listening to. So how can they be protected if they're not listening to the man who's supposed to protect them?
No, those are not wives. Those are men that are marrying whores.
Yes,
Well,
those are
that's
men.
what we
I was just about to say it, bro. Those are the
and
men who marry whores, bro. Because I
and we
guarantee you, if you were to check it, bro, those women have plenty of partners before they was with that man.
yeah, and with those are the women. Those are the women that some of these guys are marrying. The small percentage that are getting married at all.
I told you,
Yeah,
bro.
but at
I said
least at least if a man is fool enough to marry a woman, I mean, I guess she does deserve his protection because he did marry her. I mean, it's one thing to be a whore who gets married to a man and be a wife to and for that man. You or I might not necessarily want that to be our wives, but for whatever reason, he fell in love with a stripper or whatever, he married her. God bless them.
Yeah,
The issue
yeah,
is not those women. The issue is the old that don't get married. That's the
right,
real issue. They're the
right. No,
problem.
I was just covering the statement that women are not covering themselves up. He just married a whore. That's just it. He married a whore. And does she deserve protection? Yes, because she was able to get married. So yeah, she gets protection from the community and things like that. We look at him funny, like, why'd you do this? But you honor that man. You honor that man's wife because that's who he chose. If he think he can rehabilitate her, hey, we're gonna support him as best we can.
Hmm.
That's all you
And
can
that's the
do.
reason. That's the
Yeah, I
reason why
mean,
we say protect yourself
you
at all
just tell them
times.
like, look, now we all know what she is, cuz so you might want to keep a PI on retainer or some shit. That's what you do. You keep a private investigator or something,
yeah.
because you know where
Who's
you
that dude
got
who
her
won the
from.
Heisman
You
Trophy?
know.
Who's that dude who won the Heisman
Oh,
Travis
Trophy?
Travis
He was
Hunter. Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter.
Talk about Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, right?
Right.
You know, see what I'm saying? You can have
Yeah.
a Travis Hunter
Hmm.
situation. We'd be like, hey, bro, you know,
Know what you got.
we warned you. We warned you. You know,
Yeah, you know what you got.
whatever happened to you,
that's a
happened to you.
Yeah.
that's a
Speak with one eye
look,
open.
look, that's a special situation, man. That dude got caught up because he ain't never had a woman before. That's his first woman.
No, no,
That's his first
no.
woman,
Black
bro.
Reset. No, Black Reset. I understand what you're saying. Black Reset. I understand what you're saying, and it's the fact that's his first situation, right? But the fact is, she's still a hodo. So that fact didn't
Yeah,
change, right? Now,
You know,
yeah.
granted, yeah,
I wonder what kind of environment Travis Hunter came out of. Because
suburbs.
I saw a lot of I saw a lot of homely dudes who could ball get some ass. In fact, most of your best ballers were not the best looking dudes. And this guy
Right.
was like the top football player coming out of high school. He was the top. He was the tip top football player coming out of high school.
I thought
So,
it was in
what
college,
kind
not
of
high school.
environment was he in? No, he was
He was the top player coming
when
out of high
Dion
school.
got him. Yes, when Dion got him, it was all this talk about how the hell did Dion get this guy to go to Jackson State, and he's this can't miss pro prospect.
Yep.
So I'm wondering what kind of environment was he in where he couldn't get some tail back in high school?
Most likely
White
a
girls
mommy
or black
environment.
girls?
Most
I
likely.
I'd venture to say he probably ended up getting recruited to a preparatory school, and he got the white folk
Dude,
treatment there. Uh huh.
bruh. Hey, bruh. Them black dudes at them prep high schools, come on, man. They be running harems on them little
No,
white girls.
Yeah.
you know
They
that's exactly
they
what
be
I'm saying.
they be running
He
harems.
still is green. He's still
So I
green
don't
because
get
at the end of the day, go
yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
probably
just saying he seemed like an extra lane. He's an
Hey,
extra lane dude. That's my
Black
bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Rule,
like,
Black Rule, Black Rule. I think I got the answer to your question. So he
religious.
is Christian.
All right.
He is Christian,
He's
and he was
religious.
baptized. He was baptized back in 2025. So that's probably your answer right there.
I mean, this
Religious.
was the
Yeah, but
same
you
dude.
said
I mean, y'all gotta
2025.
remember,
He was
bro.
in high school. He was in high school in 2018. He wasn't no Christian
Yeah, but
then.
I'm going to safely assume that
He
he
was
was
then.
still Christian then, and he was raised around a lot of Christian influences.
Oh
They they
no, I'm super
they raised him
upset
to be a
now.
sucker, bro. Like just
I'm
like them
super.
African women raised their kids.
I
They
don't
raised him
get
to
it.
be a sucker, bro.
I'm super
I don't
upset.
get it.
This
I
this
think,
this this boy was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, where I grew up at. Ain't no excuse.
Come on,
the
man.
We got
brother
some.
just
Go
We
on,
got
man.
the
some
young
super
the
homes
young
down there.
the young
Hey,
brother just got smitten by a particular woman, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like
That's it.
you gotta look at it like this way. If he was raised or put like this, like I don't know who raised this individual exactly, right? But let's say he got to 18, he didn't get no pussy. Let's say until he was like 19, right? He was focused on his books. He was actually trying to be the good black man that everybody quote unquote tell you that they want, right? He eventually got to, let's say 20, let's say 19, 20 years old, got to college, right? Found this a beautiful Latina woman that he thought was a beautiful Latina woman, and then and gave himself to God and Christ, and tried to get married.
let me ask
That's
this:
his
No,
Did
fate.
they meet in church?
it's
Did they meet at
no,
church?
no. It's worse than that. That woman he married is the first woman he ever had sex with, bro.
Yeah, he married a
He
hoe.
did.
Oh,
He
we're
did the Tim
And and,
Tebow
and
thing.
all and all of and all I'm saying is again, that's odd to me because
No, it's not.
I played high
Think about
school
Kakash.
football. I played high school football. I was around a lot of football players. I ain't never seen no situation where where 5-star recruit football players. I ain't never seen a situation where 5-star recruit football players were not swimming in tails. I ain't never seen that.
I can tell you. Because I came from a religious background. I came from Florida. I'm telling you specifically where I came from Florida out
Well,
there, and if you come from a very very religious background, right, and they try to keep you in the church. When I mean they keep you, they literally try to organize your entire life around the church. Now, granted, you still can
I'm
get some
telling you.
little play in the church. I've done it before. But what I'm saying is, if you were raised in that kind of environment, right, and then you just quote unquote go to, let's say, a prep school, a white environment, then you go from there to there and go to college. Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it. If you're raised in that environment, from that, just like you get a woman, you raise her at quote unquote in a very very religious household where she believes that the next person she married gonna be her husband, and she don't believe in having no divorce. If you get a girl raised from that environment, you can see how she can probably go to like 25 and not
oh no,
without.
this is Atlanta, Georgia's fault. He moved up there when he was in the 8th grade. I can't blame him for not messing around up there.
Really?
They shipped him from where? Where did he get shipped from?
From West
West
Palm Beach,
Palm.
Florida to
Oh,
Atlanta,
okay.
Georgia
Yeah,
in
we
the
got
eighth
shipped from
grade.
Florida.
I can't blame him for not messing around with the women up there in Atlanta. I can't blame him.
Yeah. Atlanta women known to
I
be
can't
hoes. Like
blame him.
no.
Yeah, Transformers.
For real. No, in the schools, in the high schools, it's a lot of girls who get herpes. So it's like it's just legit. It's well known
Yeah.
that hoes. You do not trust them bitches.
I can't blame him. I can't blame him.
So if you came from Florida, which is known to
So,
have a
but
high, was it
if
HIV rate? So
if
here, yeah,
I'm
bro.
listening to, but then that girl don't seem like the girl you get with if that's your concern. She don't seem like
How
that
much? I
girl.
know
She don't seem like a
how
good
much
Christian.
female knowledge does he know though?
Man, you all are pulling theories out your ass. Now you gonna tell me that he shouldn't deal with the girls with Atlanta, then he end up with some little Mexican hoe?
I can't say. I'm saying no, sir. The thing is, I know why he did all his reasons. I know the reason is why. That's what I'm saying. You may not understand the reason, but I understand the reason is why he made the decision he was making. Right? Because at the first end of the day, when he got to, let's say, I think it was California or whatever he was over there, right? The chick he was